and very, very much looking forward to this. I don't know how you can't look forward to this because there is every chance that Brazil could go home. Croatia are a very good team, a very well-disciplined team, a team that can cause anyone problems. And so very much looking forward to seeing how they go about neutralizing the threat that is Brazil. And of course, chances are they won't be able to. Chances are they're going to struggle. And chances are Brazil are going to go through. But if they do go through, how good do Brazil look? If Brazil are going to destroy Croatia, that's going to really send a message to the world. And of course, either way, we're going to find out who is going through to a semi-final of this World Cup. So lots to get into, lots to talk about, lots to get excited about. It's a bit weird coming back after being away for a couple of days and not having done any FIFA World Cup streams. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling recharged. My voice is probably feeling the best it's felt in a little while as well. So we're ready, man. We are so ready. Obviously, we've got 2 games today. We've got 2 games tomorrow. And the team news has come through. I believe the teams up on screen should be correct. No big surprises. All the big hitters are represented. The likes of Neymar, Rafinha, Vinicius Jr., Richarlison, Casemiro, Thiago Silva, Alisson in goal. So everyone that you would pretty much expect for Brazil. Obviously with Croatia, they have got a lot less kind of star power. They're much more of a team. But some of their big hitters are still represented, like Perisic, like Modric, like Kovacic. So yes, this is going to be, as we said, a very, very fun game, a very interesting game, a very nervy game. This game for me is all about how long can Croatia prevent Brazil from scoring. It's all about frustrating Brazil. It's all about trying to restrict their forwards. This is a game where if Croatia can sit back, absorb the pressure, hit Brazil on the counter, they might be able to get a little bit of joy. Obviously, you're not going to go man for man. You're not going to go man for man. You're not going to outclass this Brazilian side. But this is not like one of the greatest Brazilian sides that we've ever seen. This is a Brazilian side that you can get at. This is a Brazilian side that I think is beatable. I just don't know if Croatia are the team that are going to be able to beat them, that's all. But we can get stuck into that. What I want to do is hello to everyone in the chat. We'll get a poll up on screen so that you lot can start voting for who you think is going to progress. Is it going to be Brazil or is it going to be Croatia? I would imagine most people will go Brazil, but I'm quite interested to know what the percentage is going to be. I do like these polls because even if the answer is a bit obvious, it's always kind of interesting to know how many people think it's going to be a certain team, like how popular is that team. So Brazil, I would imagine, go through, but is it 60-40? Is it 70-30? Is it 80-20? We'll find out. So who do you think is going to progress, Brazil or Croatia? That poll is in the chat right now. No fear, hello, shout out to you. Hope you're well. Smitster said, I'm cheering for France. I drink English tears like they're tins of strawberry nourishment, says Smitster. Well, I would imagine that English tears will taste quite sweet because we ourselves are quite sweet. So I would imagine that they are going to be like candy if they are going to be flowing tomorrow. But that's tomorrow. That is not today. Today is Croatia versus Brazil. And then, of course, after this, we are moving to Argentina versus Netherlands. 2 juicy games today. 2 juicy games tomorrow. Easy99 says, hello, Easy. Hope you're well. Says, I'm watching a friendly match. My country, Malaysia, is leading 3-0 in the first half against Cambodia right now as preparation for the Southeast Asian Cup on 21st of December. Easy99, hope you're well, buddy. That's interesting. Go Malaysia. Easy has been joining us for all of these World Cup streams and been providing some fantastic insights. So I am now a fully blown Malaysian supporter as well as a result. So I hope Malaysia do well, bud. How are you doing today? Good to see you again, says Mohammed. Hello, Mohammed. I'm doing really well, I'm doing really well. I think that the couple of days rest, not that it was much rest, was the much needed recharge. So I'm actually feeling really good. I'm feeling ready for the next couple of days. Tomorrow in particular is a bit of a, not a challenge, but it's a pretty full-on day. Obviously, I mean, I just love doing these streams. So not doing them was a bit weird. We still did wrestling on Wednesday night, of course. But I had to do tons of research yesterday for the UFC thing that's coming up. Obviously, I had to make the streams. These streams needed to be made, so I had to make the thumbnails, had to make all the description and get them put up and get out there. So I've been doing stuff, but yeah, just obviously not doing the crazy schedule of streaming like we've been doing over the past few weeks. And it was a little weird, but as I said, much needed break, mainly for my voice, and which was starting to go deeper and deeper in its register because of all the talking we've done. So yeah, just feeling really good, feeling recharged, ready for the next couple of days. I think it's really exciting as well. I've been able to actually catch up and watch a lot of reaction to the World Cup. I've been watching a lot of ESPN. I've been watching a lot of Sky Sports. Just been seeing what the pundits have been saying, and just largely what we say on the watch-alongs, to be honest. I think a lot of the same players that have impressed us have impressed everyone. Everyone seems to be swooning about Bellingham, and rightfully so. I think that he has been the best young player at this tournament. Best player at the tournament, you would probably say Mbappe, but I mean, it's obvious because of him leading the goal-scoring charts, but also maybe it's a little bit because all I'm hearing for the past 5 days is Mbappe. Everything's about Mbappe. Everything's about how does England stop Mbappe. It's all about what's Mbappe going to do to England. And I mean, it is literally like England versus Mbappe. England have come out in like loads of press conferences saying that that's not the case. It's not England versus Mbappe, and we can't overlook the other French players. But everything has been about Mbappe, and it's all been like everyone is going to be eagle-eyed on Kyle Walker versus Mbappe. So we believe Kyle Walker's going to be at right back, and he is quick, and he is going to be given the unenviable task of trying to keep Mbappe quiet. That's going to be a hell of a task, certainly when you think that Walker's just coming back from an injury as well. So yeah, it's going to be a real challenge for him, but all the talk over here is about Mbappe. All the talk over in France is about Mbappe. I think all the talk, when anyone talks about this game, is about Mbappe. And I feel really good that England can do it, to be honest. I feel really good that England can do it. I am not going in with any kind of arrogance, but I'm certainly going in with confidence. And my prediction is 2-1 England. I think England are going to get it done. I don't even think it's going to go to penalties. I think England are going to get it done. I'm feeling really good about it because when you actually look at the two teams and you look at the likes of, I mean, would you rather have Rice and Bellingham, or would you rather have Tchouaméni or Rabiot? Like for me, I'd rather have Rice and Bellingham. And then I look at the forward line and I'm like, would I rather have Kane or Giroud? I'd rather have Kane. I know Giroud is a fantastic player, the all-time leading goal scorer for France, but I don't think he brings as much to the team as what Kane does. Kane is as good of a finisher, but also his link-up play is a lot better. Dembele's tricky. Would I rather have Dembele or would I rather have Saka? That's a tricky one, to be honest. That's a tricky one. I think I would... That's a tricky one. I'm really torn on that because I love Saka, but Dembele is doing really well. But he does give the ball away a lot, you know. He does give the ball away a lot, but he is a real problem on that right wing. So that one, I don't know. I'm split on. I keep changing my mind. Obviously, you would take Mbappe. Of course you would. And obviously, you would take the two centre-backs as well. Like, I would take Varane and Upamecano over Stones and Maguire. I would actually take Pickford over Hugo Lloris. And I don't think their wing backs are that great. Their fullbacks are that great. If you look at Konate and if you look at Hernandez, they're quite good at going forward. Certainly Hernandez. But they're, Jules Koundé. If you look at Koundé and Hernandez, Hernandez is very good at going forwards. Koundé is not really a right back, but he can play there. I'd take Walker and Shaw over those two every day of the week and twice on a Sunday. So for me, if you actually sit down and go player for player and actually was to pick like the best 11 out of England and France, I genuinely think that looks about 7-4 in favour of England, maybe 6-5, but it's not advantage France. It's not advantage France. The only thing is that one of their players is arguably the best player in the world. And that's it. Like, if you take Mbappe out, I think England are not only favourites, I think they're firm favourites. If you take Mbappe out of that French team, I think England are not only favourites, they're firm favourites. But all the talk is Mbappe. I think that we will have a plan for it. I think that Kyle Walker is one of the trickiest right backs for him to try and get past. I think that he could still provide a moment of magic. I think he could still absolutely stamp his influence on the game. But I think that England have got potential to overcome that. So that's why I'm thinking 2-1. It could be a bit of Mbappe brilliance that results in France getting that goal. But I have got every confidence that England can cause... France, how are France going to defend against Bellingham, Foden, Saka, Kane? Like, everyone's talking about England's defence and Mbappe, but it ain't going to be like 100% possession for France. So I'm feeling quite confident. I'm actually growing in confidence the closer you'd think I'd be getting more nervous and maybe like more doubts would be coming in. It's actually the reverse. And I don't know if it's because I've been watching lots of Sky Sports and ESPN and all this stuff, but as the game's getting closer, I'm finding myself getting more confident and actually calmer. Granted, 5 minutes before kickoff, I'm going to be a mess. But as the day's going by, I'm feeling pretty good about it. So I'm going to go 2-1 to England. And I must admit, a lot of the pundits are kind of split. I've seen loads of pundits going for England, which has surprised me. And obviously, I've seen loads of pundits going for France. I did see some on ESPN whereby France are the favourites with the bookies, but they ran the data into a supercomputer. And this supercomputer came back and gave England a 52% chance. The supercomputer says it's 52-48 in favour of England. So it's really interesting. It's really, really interesting. It's really close. It's a mega match. I really think it's going to be one of the most watched matches in English football history. The round of 16 got 19 million viewers. This is clearly going to go up another level. And also, like, it's just everywhere. Everyone's got an opinion on it. Everyone's talking about it. It's had a big build as well. Like, I feel like we've had a good 5-6 days of just like focusing on this game now. It's definitely time for the game. Like, tomorrow feels like it's the perfect time, to be honest. Like Saturday, 7 o'clock. The only downside is I keep listening to like the radio, TalkSport, and they keep having people calling in saying like things they're doing instead of watching the game. And because it's a Saturday, there's people that are going to like Pantos, like the theatre. There's people that are going to like Christmas lights being switched on. There's people that have got like wallpaper around their, kid's house or something, and they can't get out of it, and they don't have a TV to watch, and like there's just all these like reasons as to why people can't watch the game. So Saturday you would think would be really good, but I suppose Saturday nights are also when people have had plans for like months and months in advance. I still expect it to be 20-something million. And like a load of gigs here in the UK, they're actually going to have the support act on and finish at 7. Then they're going to show the game for 2 hours, and then the band are going to come on afterwards. I've seen loads of announcements like that saying that the support act's not going to be before the main act. They're going to have a gap, and they're going to show the match. And I think the boxing as well is going to do the same. They're going to do a load of fights, show the football match, and then do a load more fights afterwards. So there's like all these sporting events and gigs and things that are trying to find a way of incorporating the match. It's so big. It is so big. I can only compare it to a Super Bowl, really. I can only compare it to a Super Bowl. There will be 20-something million that will watch it in the UK. And there's only 65 million in the country in total. And out of that 20-odd million, you know, you're going to have the people that don't watch it are going to be people that aren't into it. There's going to be some people that aren't into it, of course. A good chunk of people that aren't bothered by it. But then you're going to have, like, people that are too young. Do you know what I mean? Like 1-year-olds or whatever, 2-year-olds, 3-year-olds that aren't going to be counted as watching it. And then you're going to have, like, I don't know, people in old people's homes or whatever that aren't going to be watching it. When you actually, like, filter out and just look at, like, the people that are going to be at home, normal, like, adult age, like, I would imagine, you know, a healthy percentage of those are going to be watching. It really is going to be one of the biggest matches ever. So excited. So excited. If that's not coming across yet, then I don't know what to say. I'm so excited for it tomorrow. Hasib said, you take Mbappe out, put Koeman in. France are still favourites. I disagree. I completely disagree. I think that the odds are actually really close. So England are plus 100. France are, I think, minus 100. It's already, even with Mbappe, it's really close to being a pick'em. You take Mbappe out and you put Koeman in, it completely changes the odds. Like, I'm not even talking from a I think point of view. I'm talking from a if you actually look at the odds point of view. If you look at the odds, the actual odds, it's France are about, I'm sure it's minus 100 and England are plus 100. And I look at odds all the time because of UFC. So I know that is literally just one step above a pick'em. And a pick'em would be where both teams are exactly the same. So if the odds are just that one step above for France right now, you take Mbappe out, the odds change. I mean, the odds wouldn't go down to a pick'em. It would go down to England being favourite. So I disagree. I think if Mbappe is out, England are favourites. Easy99 said Southeast Asia Cup here is like a World Cup for Southeast Asian people. The stadium is always full and the match is intense, especially for rival nations. Well, very cool. Anything that's going to create that buzz around football, I am all for it. I actually really like what they're doing with the, I believe the Copa America is not only going to have America in it, I believe it's being hosted in America. That was something that I saw on ESPN where they were talking about 2024 and they were talking about the Copa America having those teams included because America, Mexico, Canada, they don't tend to be in the Copa America. But they're going to be in it, and the competition is going to be in America. And they were just talking about what this means and if it's good for the game and all that kind of stuff. And I think it's brilliant. I think it's great. I think anything that's going to help create buzz around soccer, certainly in those countries, is only going to be a positive. I mean, in the long term, it might not be a positive for England because if America wakes up to soccer, then I would imagine America's just going to storm World Cups, to be honest. I mean, you know, they take sport very seriously. They got 300-odd million people. And if they prioritize soccer a bit more than they are at the moment, then it is no doubt in my mind that America not only could win a World Cup, but I'm sure would win a World Cup. So, I think that it's good. Anything that's going to help grow the game is obviously going to be good in the long run. And I think when we get excited about the World Cup and we're talking about World Cup, the more people that can like share in that, the better. I must admit, I'm stunned that it's only 3 billion people that will watch the World Cup. I'm genuinely shocked at that number. I honestly would have thought it would have been higher. But when you take into account how many people are in India, how many people are in China, how many people are in those countries that didn't qualify and maybe have only got a passing interest, I mean, it's our national sport. If England wasn't there, I don't know how many people would watch the World Cup. I think the casuals wouldn't bother. I mean, it'd be on TV still and it'd be hard to avoid, but it certainly wouldn't have the same level of engagement that it does with England being there. So I suppose that I can understand it, you know. Are people in Italy as engaged? Are people in Norway as engaged? So 3 billion is still a great number, of course. But yeah, for me, this is the biggest thing that the planet does. I mean, for me, this is bigger than the Olympics. It might not be in regards to audience. I actually don't know how they compare. But to me, like the World Cup, winning the World Cup is the biggest thing that could happen. I can't think of anything at the Olympics that would match that. I mean, like, I suppose the only other thing is like if Great Britain do well in the medal table, you know, as the Olympics are progressing, you have a look at the medal table. And there's been a few times where Great Britain has actually managed to get third, or I think I'm right in saying even second in the medal table. And that was huge. That was amazing. That was mind-blowing. And that is something that was a real achievement and all of that. But it pales into insignificance compared to England winning a World Cup. So I can't think of anything at the Olympics that would match this. Maybe the show is bigger, though, the Olympics. Do you know what I mean? Like, just all the different countries being involved, all the different events. I can understand more people tuning into it, but for me, the bigger thing is the World Cup. Wrestling Andy said, I've loaded up my team with 5 Brazilian players. Get in there. Wrestling with Andy, shout out to you. Very good. You've gone big, and I respect that. Thoughts on Sasha going to New Japan? We're going to have to wait and see if it happens. I mean, rumours are that she is looking at going over for some reason. Haven't heard as to what that reason is, but it's believed that she could be at Wrestle Kingdom. I mean, my thoughts are that she's probably not going to be joining Stardom, but like permanently, because it's only a very small promotion. But I think that she is someone that right now is just living life. That's the impression I get. I like she's gone off to like stretching classes, and she's gone to film premieres, and she's recorded an album, and I just think she's doing things right now that she wants to do. I think she's living life, and I think one of the things that she enjoys doing was going over to Japan and learning wrestling and being in Japan and the Japanese culture. She actually went and trained with Miko Satomura, and I think she really enjoyed that experience. And she went over to Sendai Girls, and there's like footage that came out ages and ages ago about her going over there. And I think that that's something she really enjoyed. So her going over and spending a little bit of time in Japan, maybe being like a bit of a Brock Lesnar type person that goes in, does some matches on big cards like Wrestle Kingdom or Dominion, or, you know, I don't really know how New Japan use Stardom, because New Japan doesn't have like a women's division, but I believe they are bringing in an IWGP Women's Championship, so that could be evolving and changing, and bringing in Sasha would be a big statement if they were to introduce a women's division. That would be, you know, incredibly big. So I'm sure that they would pay well. I don't know that they're going to pay as well as WWE, but I think she's got an interest because I think she's interested in Japanese culture. I think she had a great time training over at Sendai Girls, and I think it's something she would be willing to explore. I would imagine for limited dates. I certainly don't think she's going to be joining and she's going to be wrestling over there on a weekly basis. I really don't think that. So I think that she could go over. She could do something. She could do certain dates. I think she could be the face of a new division if that's what they're bringing in. And I heard rumours that there is an IWGP Women's title on the way. I think it's all really exciting. I think it's really exciting. I think it makes a lot more sense than her coming into AEW, for example. It makes a lot more sense in my head as well. Like, her going to AEW doesn't really make that much sense to me because they're a much smaller promotion and they've not got the reach that WWE have got. I don't know that she wants to like be on the road like that. I don't know. Like, I feel like if you're gonna do that, you just do WWE because like Vince has gone now, and I think that like she could say to Triple H, "I wasn't happy with this, wasn't happy with that." I'm sure they can find solutions to whatever problems there was. Triple H seems to be willing to bring her back and repair any broken bridges. And so I think that, maybe if Vince was there, it would be impossible. I don't know. That breakdown might have completely failed. But I don't know. I think she's always had respect for Triple H and Steph. And I feel like the door's open and the option's there to go back to WWE. So if she ain't going to do that, why would you go to AEW? AEW is smaller. No disrespect to AEW. But why would you go there if the option is you could go back to WWE? Unless you now hate WWE so much and you just hate them all so much that it's like, I just can't go back there. But then, as I said, like she could go into acting, she could go into music, she could go into like so many different things. I can't get, it doesn't sit right in my head, her going to AEW. I can't weigh it up as to why she would do that. So, but her going to New Japan surprisingly makes a lot more sense to me because I think she really loves that culture and I think that she would really enjoy her time there. And I think she could be the face of a division. I don't think this is about money. I think this is about her doing things that she wants to do. And I can make more sense of that. Is Triple H head honcho now? Well, he's head of booking and he would be the person that you would go to and you would see at the shows. So he's not head honcho. That's Nick Khan and Steph. But how much they're actually around backstage, I genuinely don't know. It could be that they're more at, the headquarters. Certainly Nick Khan. I don't think Nick Khan's really at the shows. Steph could be there. But I wouldn't be surprised if she wasn't there, to be honest, that much. Because I think that the shows are pretty much run by Triple H now. And certainly talent relations is and creative is. And that's, if you've got a problem with creative, which is what Sasha did have a problem with creative, it's Triple H that you would ultimately go to see now, not Vince. Vince isn't there. Women's football is growing all the time, says Dortnight. Jilly said, I heard rumours of Sasha versus Kyrie. If those rumours are true, then I want to see that. Jilly, shout out to you. Women's football is ace and it is growing all the time. That is true. Kyrie Sane is champ. Well, I could see that. I can see them doing that match. I can see them doing that. And I think that that would be something that would really grab the attention of the world. And I think that that's something that New Japan really need because since they lost all the AEW guys, I think that the interest in New Japan has drastically decreased. Maybe not in Japan itself. I don't actually know how they're doing over there. But I think in the Western world, from the UK and from America, I don't think the buzz around New Japan is anywhere near where it was when the Bucks and Kenny and the Bullet Club had started. And you had Finn. I mean, God, they've lost so many talents. If you think they've lost AJ and they've lost Finn and they've lost all these people, they've lost a lot of talent. So I can understand it being in a slight lull, maybe. That would boost it, definitely. Right, the coverage has started on BBC for this. This, as we said, our first of the quarterfinals. We've got 2 quarterfinals today, and then we've got 2 quarterfinals tomorrow. And Brazil, last time we saw them, they were in devastating fashion. You could make an argument that Brazil played the best half of football that we have seen against South Korea in that first half in the whole World Cup. I think Brazil or maybe Portugal have been the 2 most impressive teams that I saw in that last round. Portugal were just devastating. I mean, scoring 6 in a round of 16 game. You know, not only coming through your group, but then playing a team that also came through their group. That's quite the statement. I mean, to put 6 past anyone at this World Cup is quite the statement. The only thing I'd say is England did it. They did it in the first game against Iran, and of course that sent a message. You know, you can have those kinds of games where you do that, but you know that's not going to be every game. So it's going to be interesting to see Portugal against Morocco, but I think a lot of people are going into that game thinking that Portugal are going to be the team to come out with the result. Just like here, I think a lot of people are going to go with Brazil. And actually, we've had over 100 votes now. So let's just have a quick look and see what it is. It is 83-17. 83% of people think that Brazil are going to get the result today. So very confident. And I can totally understand why. I think that Brazil are likely to win this as well. Is it going to be a normal time? Is it going to be an extra time? Is it going to be penalties? How difficult are Croatia going to make this? And how shocked will we be if in a few hours' time Brazil are out? Because that could happen. Croatia are a very tricky team, and they are a team that managed to get to the final of the World Cup 4 years ago. This is a team that does get overlooked, is underrated, but is a team that I think also has its limitations. And this, as we said, should be a fun game. I certainly don't expect Brazil to have it easy. I don't expect them to destroy Croatia 2, 3, 4-0, maybe 2-0, but not 3 or 4-0. I don't think they're going to achieve that. I think Croatia are dogged. I think they're a team that have got some great individuals. I think that defensively they're pretty solid. They've got a really great midfield as well. And this is going to be an interesting battle. And I suppose the first goal is going to be key. It depends when it comes and who it's for. If Croatia get it, if they can get to half-time at 0-0, I think Croatia will be over the moon, to be honest. Because then second half, if you can steal that winner, if you can find that goal, just keep it tight, then obviously, that's what they'll be looking to do. So they'll, I think, be hoping for 0-0 at half-time. Of course, they'll want to lead if they can get it. But 0-0, they'll be absolutely over the moon. Even 1-1, any kind of draw, or maybe even if they're only behind by a goal, it wouldn't be the end of the world. Brazil are not a defensive-minded team. So even if you're down 1-0, you don't have to worry about Brazil sitting back and defending. They ain't going to do that. They're going to just keep coming forward and keep looking for that next goal. So they will leave space if you need to try and get back into the game. The only problem you've got is that they are always on the front foot coming at you. So as much as you're looking for an equaliser, there's a good chance they'll find the second. So it's going to be, I can't wait for all of these games. I think look good. There's not a single bad game here. Brazil-Croatia is interesting. Netherlands-Argentina, I would argue, is more interesting because I think Argentina aren't quite as good as Brazil. And I think that you could make an argument that Netherlands have got a little more firepower than Croatia. And maybe that game is just a little closer as a result. I think maybe the closest game is England-France. I think that's 50-50. I really do. I think that's 50-50. And then you've got Morocco and Portugal. I think Portugal are going to go into that as heavy favourites, but Morocco showed that they are a problem for any team. Knocking out Spain is just incredible. That could have took everything out of them, though. That's the only problem. How quickly can Morocco recover? How quickly can they get themselves back up for another fight? And maybe a harder challenge as well, because Spain pass the ball around really well, but they don't finish off movements very well, whereas Portugal do. So it's going to be very interesting. Millennial said, the Wrestle Kingdom card looks good, but I always have the feeling that New Japan are always redoing the same rivalries. I don't think there has been a fluid evolution of characters. Louis says, I hope for your stomach they get done in 90 minutes. I do as well. Yeah. I did stay in bed a little bit longer the past couple of days because why not? Do you know what I mean? I didn't need to get up at this kind of time. And so I was just staying in bed that little bit later. And as I said, I feel better for it. But that meant now that I had to get up a little earlier than I have been the past couple of days. So I totally did not get time to have something to eat again. Got up, coffee, came downstairs, set up the stream. Boom, here we are. So I opened my eyes around about half an hour before the stream began. So that was enough to make a coffee and set the stream. Stream was pretty much set up. But it gave me about time to do a coffee, and that was it. So it would be great if this didn't go to extra time and penalties, like what we saw happen the other day, where I was constantly being denied that gap between the two games, and we were getting the extra time and we were getting the penalties, and I was not getting anything to eat. Like, it would be great if we didn't have that. But again, if it means that Brazil are going to get knocked out, then I will quite gladly sacrifice lunch. I will quite gladly sacrifice that. If I have to sit here and watch extra time penalties and the end result is Brazil go through and I don't get lunch, I will not be very happy at all. Victor said, my gut tells me Argentina and Brazil advance, but an upset is possible. These two games are going to be juicy. The only neat Leeds United fan says Croatia 2, Brazil 1. Brave. Love it, though. James, hello, James, says Sterling is back with the England squads. Francesco said, if you take Messi out of Argentina, then that team is average. I think that if you take Messi out of Argentina, I agree that I don't know if they're average. I think, though, at this point in the tournament, if you take Messi out, then I think that they are beatable by the majority of teams that are left. I agree with that. I think that they have got some players, right? They've got some players. I think that without Messi, I think they still would have got out their group. But I think against the Dutch, it's really interesting, isn't it? It's really, really interesting. If you take out Messi, I feel like, how would they do against the Dutch? The Dutch have not looked brilliant in this tournament. I think with Messi, they should get past the Dutch. But I'm still super interested in that because, if the Dutch do keep Messi quiet, I don't know, Gakpo is just on great form at the moment. I'll tell you the one thing about the Dutch, they don't need many chances. They get any sort of chance. They've been clinical. The Dutch have not been brilliant at creating chances, but when they come along, they take them. They absolutely take them. Gakpo and Memphis have been clinical, so they're not going to need much against Argentina to get goals. And so it wouldn't surprise me if Argentina are on the front foot but actually find themselves going behind, because I could see a counter from the Dutch where they score, honestly. And then all of a sudden Argentina got to come back into it. I think Argentina do get through. I think they are going to have to rely on Messi. And I think that... I think the comment's right, to be honest. I think if you take Messi out, I think that this Argentina side struggles against most of the teams that are left in the competition right now, which is why I feel pretty good about if it is going to be Brazil-Argentina, Brazil getting through. I think Brazil get past Argentina, and I think Brazil get through to the final. But can Croatia stop them from getting that far? Can Croatia actually frustrate Brazil and take it? I mean, look, if this goes to penalties, who the flip knows? It's anyone's at that point. We saw Morocco knock out Spain. So if this goes to penalties, Croatia could go through. There is every chance Croatia can do this. I don't know that they do it in 90 minutes. I don't know that I'm that confident. I'm not as confident as Turkish Chile man saying 3-2. But, this is... It's a juicy game, man. Steve said they're not average, they're mids. Steve said, can we get a Ronaldo-Messi final? Would you say the World Cup was fixed? I wouldn't say the World Cup was fixed, no. I wouldn't say, if we got that, I wouldn't say it was fixed. I think that a lot of people had Argentina get into the semi-final. So, in fact, I'd say pretty much everyone. So, if they were to get past Brazil, I mean, there you go. They've managed to beat Brazil. I think with Messi, you've always got the possibility of that happening. You know, if they can keep it tight and Messi provide a moment of magic, I don't think it would be the biggest upset. I mean, this is an Argentina side that have beaten Brazil recently, and it's an Argentina side that were actually undefeated going all the way back to 2019 until Saudi Arabia beat them. So, no, I think Argentina getting to the final is a very real prospect. On the other side, I suppose it would be interesting for Portugal to get there. Not interesting in the sense of, oh, it's a fix. Just interesting in, I don't think many people predicted that they would. But actually, after that performance the other day, if you used to ask a lot of people now, I think you'd find a lot more people saying that Portugal are going to do it. A lot more people thinking that Portugal could reach that final. I mean, they didn't even play Ronaldo. They brought on that Ramos guy, and he scores a hat-trick. Like, they've got an amazing team. They've got a team that shows it belongs at this level, even without Ronaldo. So their next game is against Morocco, who a lot of people didn't think would even get out the group. They're the dark horse. They're, dare I say, overachieving right now. Just certainly knocking out Spain. I don't think many people thought that was actually going to happen. So Portugal go into that game as favourites. So again, you know, I think we could realistically find ourselves with Portugal and Argentina getting to semi-finals and then both just needing a win, just needing to get a result. Argentina have got Messi and could do it. And I would say Ronaldo could help them do it, but I think it's probably more Portugal just could do it. I mean, Portugal, France or Portugal, England. Portugal have got a great chance. So, no, I wouldn't say it was fixed. I don't know that we get it, to be honest. I think the stumbling blocks on both sides. I think Brazil is a big stumbling block for Argentina. And I think that the winner of England or France is going to be a big stumbling block for Portugal. So I can't say that we're going to get it, but no, if we did get it, I wouldn't say it was a fix. I would say that it's just meant to be, and it's what we've ended up getting, because I think both teams are there or thereabouts anyway. Ronaldo wouldn't play in the final, says Bunkers. He might not start, but I bet he would come on. I don't think there's any way that he wouldn't make an appearance. Even I mean, but yeah, I think like him starting any game at this World Cup now might have gone out the window, because I don't expect him to start against Morocco. And if they go out, then then obviously that's it. Ronaldo can't start. But if Portugal go through, I don't think he's coming back into the team now. I don't think he's coming back into the team. I think that what they did the other day, winning 6-1 or whatever, was such a statement. I don't know how you drop that Ramos guy. I mean, he scored a hat-trick, and he looked in incredible form, and Ronaldo just hasn't at this tournament. He just hasn't looked that brilliant. So I think that if you bring Ronaldo into your starting lineup, you are weakening your team. I think that's, you know, I think that they showed so much against South Korea. They were so devastating that I think to bring Ronaldo back into your starting lineup now would be weird, to be honest. I think that'd be a weird move, because you are clearly only picking him on his name, because he hasn't been that great in this tournament. He's on the bench as an impact sub if you want him to come on and have an impact, but they look so much better without him. So, yeah, I agree. I think there's a good chance he doesn't start a game in this tournament now. I think that... but I'm sure he'll come on in the final. I'm sure he would. I think there would be outrage in Portugal if he didn't. If they got to a final and he didn't play any part in that final, I think that there'd be big celebrations, of course, for winning it if they won it. But there would be, I think, also outrage that he didn't come on, because people and the world would also want it to be Messi and Ronaldo. The world would want to see that. There'd be so much pressure on him at least bringing him on at some point. I feel like he'd have to. This should be a banger of a game, said Michael. I expect lots of goals and very open play style by both teams. The Southeast Asian Cup is like the World Cup. It's a 2-year tournament. The stadiums are always full and the match is intense, especially for rival nations. We've got Messi Ronaldo in the third place game, said Francesco. Have you watched the new Indiana Jones trailer? No, I haven't. Or Transformers? No. Transformers not really my thing, to be honest. I caught a few episodes when I was young of the cartoon, but it wasn't even a show that I would watch as a kid that much. I don't know why, to be honest, because I think it was on. I mean, it must have been, because I certainly have seen episodes. But it was just not part of, I don't know, just wasn't part of my regular viewing. There was other shows on that I used to watch. So I don't really feel that connection. I mean, I know Optimus Prime, and I always thought he was really cool. And I thought the Transformers were cool. And I never had the toys as a kid, but I would have loved them. But that means that, like, the films don't really do much for me, to be honest. I don't look at the films and get, like, giddy or nostalgic. So I've never... And I watched one of them and I thought it was not that great. It wasn't the first one. I'm sure the first one's great. You know what sequels are like. They tend to go down in quality. I can't remember the one I saw. I got dragged to the cinema to watch it and, God, I was bored. So it's not my kind of thing. Indiana Jones, I've seen those. They're all right. Would I race to the cinema to watch a fifth one? No. I probably wouldn't even watch it, to be honest, because I didn't watch the fourth, which was something to do with a school. I never even saw that. So, yeah, not my thing, to be honest. I'm not really a film person, though, in all truth. I tend to be more into, like, TV shows and, well, more than that, sport. I watch so much, like, sport that, like, time for films doesn't really exist. They sold Disney and Star Wars and Indiana Jones at the same time. I'm scared about what Disney will do with Indiana Jones. Well, I'm sure it'd be all right. I mean, I haven't had a chance to watch I still need to do that. Haven't had a chance to watch the Star Wars film. I said I'd do that last year, you know. I never did it. What I wanted to do is I wanted to sit down. I wanted to watch all the Star Wars films again so that I could bring myself up to speed with the story, because I haven't seen any of the newer ones. And I'm worried that if I watch them, there'll be like loads of Easter eggs that I don't catch. And even parts of the story I won't understand. So I want to go back and watch all the Star Wars ones. I haven't seen any of the new ones. But my understanding was that they were pretty well received. So I'm sure they'll treat Indiana Jones all right. Have you watched the Tulsa King? I watched the first two. Looks like it's going to be great. What the hell's the Tulsa King? What's that? I haven't heard of it. Michael said they sold Star Wars, Indiana Jones. Star Wars has been all right since it was sold, but nothing that special. Steven said Brazil 3, Croatia 2. Yeah, I tell you what, if that's going to be the game, it's going to be a banger. Bruno said the new Avatar looks incredible, judging by the graphics. I only watch sports and Star Wars, said Pricey. Have you made changes if you need to? I have, James, thank you. Yeah, I did it late last night. In fact, I can show you my... I haven't got it set up, but whilst we're waiting for the game to begin, I can just quickly set up and show you my team. Not that I'm feeling very confident about it, but hey-ho, we're hanging in there. But I feel like the winners have probably pulled ahead now. So I certainly don't think I'm winning this thing. But yeah, let's change this over. There we go. So this is my starting lineup. This is my team. I've gone with the Dutch keeper in goal. Oh, did I want to do that? Perhaps I shouldn't have done that. Maybe I need to do this. Because the Dutch game is second, isn't it? So, Alisson, if Alisson doesn't do it in this game, I'll swap him over for the Dutch keeper in the next game. Then I've got, I've got a Brazilian defender, I've got Brazilian midfielder, I've got Brazilian up front. So I've got 4 Brazilians. I've got Messi. I've got Klaassen for later. I've got Perisic in this game. He's been doing well, actually. He's been picking up some decent points, and I do think there's a chance Croatia could get something here. But yeah, I've a lot of players for tomorrow. Of course, my bench is England and Mbappe. I feel like there's a decent mix there. I feel pretty good about that. I've got Richarlison as captain. I don't think Mbappe's going to get loads against England. So really, if Richarlison doesn't do much in this game, I'll flip it over to Messi for the next game. You can only make that change once. I'll probably do that over anything for Portugal. I really don't know about Fernandes. I don't know that I would make him like captain. I think for me, Richarlison or Messi are the two options. So, well, we'll start with Richarlison and we'll go flip over to Messi later. But yeah, that's how my team's looking. I feel pretty good about it. There's maybe some people there that I wouldn't have had. I don't know. There's people there that I've had to have because of you can only make 5 changes, can't you? And I've already used my wild card, so I can't. I can't really do much about that. Tell you what, I was just thinking. Like, I've still got a couple of things that I can use, like a 12th man. I wonder if this is the week that you should use the 12th man. Or maybe you just save that for the final. But then I've also got the captain thing. Because you've got a couple of little boosts, haven't you? I don't know if like all of you are playing the fantasy game, but there's a couple of little boosts that you can use. And I've only used wildcards so far, so I've still got 2 boosts to use. Maybe I'll use one for the final and the other for the semi-final. I'll probably do that. Right, national anthem time. National anthem time. It's the Croatian national anthem. So first half coming up very, very soon. My hockey team is the Blackhawks. They did get 3 chips. They are beyond terrible now, says Michael. Steve said, I'm going to go 3-0 to Brazil. It's going to be all over by half-time. LDTV, hello, said, cheers from a frigid 38-degree California. I foreshadow that I make Brazilian coffee this morning. Go for it. Go for it. That's a nod in the direction of Brazil, then coming from California. I think a lot of people think Brazil are going to do this. We're at 177 votes. Keep your votes coming in. As soon as we get to 200, we'll have a look and see what you lot think. Last time we checked, we were at 100. It was nearly 80-20. It was actually worse than that. It was 83-17 in favour of Brazil. And we'll see if that's moved much. So we'll have a look at that in about 20 votes' time. Jilly said, I like the look of that fantasy team website. I do regret not signing up for the World Cup. I didn't sign up because I didn't have any experience. Oh, that's a shame. Should have gone for it. Doesn't matter, does it? It's just a bit of fun. It's just a bit of fun and something to do. So even if you was rubbish at it, I think it does help with the tournament. Like, I'm going to be watching this game hoping that certain players play well, knowing that if they do, then I am going to benefit from it. So by getting points. So I think it does kind of make the whole tournament a bit even more enjoyable. Like, it adds something else to it. I find that with the Premier League as well. There's a fantasy game for the Premier League. 10 million people play that. And I find it really adds to the excitement of the Premier League for me. Because teams that in the past I used to just watch Man United and keep an eye on other scores if they mattered for United. But things at the bottom of the table I wasn't bothered about. And, I'd look at Match of the Day and watch, players and England players, how they're doing. But it's not like I was desperately racing to see the scores. Whereas now, not only do I look to see the scores, but I want to know who scored, who got assists, did my keep a clean sheet, all of that kind of stuff. Like, I think it just really adds to the excitement of the Premier League. So I love the fantasy game for the Premier League, and the one for the World Cup has been a lot of fun as well. All the Blackhawks great players get older. We can't pay guys. Blackhawks are terrible. Well, I'm sorry to hear that, Michael. Up the Blackhawks, that's what I say. There's Fat Ronaldo. Fat Ronaldo in the stands as the Brazilian national anthem is going. And as we said, this takes a long time to get through. But they're screaming it out in pride as it concludes. And we're going to be underway with this game in 3 minutes' time. Angus said, I believe that Brazil will win, but this World Cup has had a lot of surprises. Michael said Croatia play a similar style to Brazil, but don't have as much talent. Both teams will look to push the pace. Can we get a shootout for the Knicks who have won? Shout out for the Knicks who have won their last 2 games, said Dortnight. No. Jilly said all-round fun stuff, keeping up. Good. Michael said Brazil are going to win this 4-1. Flybirds Fly said Brazil 3-0 or 2-1. Croatia will win because people want to see Miss Croatia more in this World Cup, said Easy99. James said, I've power captained for these games. Oh, might be a good move. Might be a good move because these are, you would think, going to be easier games than the semi-finals. So, yeah, might be a good shout. You could say hello to my 1-year-old Theo. He is watching me and keeps laughing. Not sure why. Want to see how he reacts to his name. Theo, shout out to you. Hope you are enjoying the football. And keep on laughing. Keep on laughing. Are Brazilian fans going to be laughing? That's the question as we take a little look at their team one last time. And get ready for the kickoff in 2 minutes. Tell you what, that hour went quick. Sometimes we start an hour before and we're like reading about the teams and going through some like data. I didn't even feel like we had a chance to do that. We were just chatting away about various different things. But look at that subs bench. That subs bench that Brazil have got is disgusting. So impressive. There's Perisic. She's had 6 goals in 14 World Cup matches. He is going to be very important for them. There's Neymar. Neymar, 3 goals in 2 previous games against Croatia. He is a fantastic footballer. No one's really talking about Neymar the same way they're talking about Messi or Mbappe. Sort of feels like Messi and Mbappe are getting a lot more spotlight than Neymar. Neymar, who has been injured and missed quite a bit of this tournament, he could remind the world of what he is all about. You know, before this tournament, a lot of people thought Neymar was going to be the star of this. And it hasn't gone that way because of the injury that took him out of 2 group games. But listen, this is the time to shine, isn't it? This is the time to shine. So Neymar could be an interesting person to have added to your fantasy team. Theo smiled and pointed. Brilliant, said Louis. Very good. Right, let's get rid of the poll. The poll didn't move too much. It was 83%. Now it's gone to 84%. And we kick off with Croatia versus Brazil. This is our first quarterfinal. And this is where, like, the tournament is getting even more serious. So, let's go over to the stats and get them up on screen as this game kind of settles into a groove. There we go. So, Croatia and Brazil. Croatia are going from left to right, and Brazil are going from right to left. Brazil in yellow. Of course, Croatia in their traditional red and white. Brazil have got the ball back in their defense, playing it down the right-hand side. Ball coming into the middle. And bouncing, and it looks like it's going to go out of play. So that looks like it's going to be a throw-in for Croatia in their own half. Who is the current leader in the Golden Boot? At the moment, it is Mbappe. Mbappe is the leader at the moment. Jilly said landslide in the polls. Big landslide. 84-15 in the end. Very impressive. So people are feeling very confident for Brazil. and understandably so. They are a team stacked with star power and depth. I mean, you can't ignore that bench. They've got the ability to bring on some real game changers, and they've got a team full of game changers as well. How are Croatia going to deal with that? Well, at the moment, they're dealing with it quite well. Brazil have got the ball in their defence there, driven all the way back, and they're being pressed hard by Croatia. Brazil are struggling to get out of their third at the moment. They go down the line and a tackle. Lovely work by Croatia. So Croatia with a high press foul, and that's going to be a free kick for Croatia, won by Kovacic in their own half, in Brazil's own half. It's going to be interesting. Can Croatia keep this high press? Can they keep this pressure on Brazil? Can they... this be a good tactic by England as well, you know. If England have this high press, keep this pressure on, just take out that front line, you know. That front line's not going to be a problem if it's having to defend all the time. Ball going all the way back to Alisson. Alisson launching the ball forwards. Drops in the centre, but it's won by a Croatian player. Croatia charging forward, looking to... I thought they were going to go wide, but they actually go into the middle. Now they go wides. Ball coming over to Juranovic. But Brazil win it back. I wouldn't mind a Brazil shirt, said Dortnight. Classy, aren't they? I think a lot of people love Brazil shirts. Right, ball is with Brazil. Again, they're going to bring it out from the back into Casemiro. Goes back to Thiago Silva. Long ball being played forwards. And no one there. Does reach Vinny. Vinny trying to twist and turn. I tell you what, that long ball immediately making change in defence into attack. And right now we're on the edge of the Croatian penalty area, but the ball goes all the way back to the Brazilian half. Alisson coming out a long way. I wouldn't mind Brazilian shirt. Let's go. Brazil, said Harith. Smitzer said, why are Brazil so good at football? Well, they've got a big population. And lovely shot and save. Vinicius Jr. just whipping a ball in, but straight into the hands of the keeper. Yeah, I mean, look, Brazil, it's their national sport. They are absolutely crazy about it. And they are a big country as well. I mean, like, the thing with... they've got 214 million people to choose from. And it's their national sport. So that is obviously makes them one of the biggest countries by population in the world. And it's their national sport. And like it's a cheap game, isn't it? Like it's an easy game. Like it's the kind of game that you can play anywhere. Like all you need is a ball. That's it. As long as you've got a ball and you can get a ball for a few pound. That's it. I mean, like you don't even need goals. You don't even need a park. You know, you can use anything. You can use chalk on a wall for a goal, and you can have it play it in like an alleyway. You can like play like in a park. Of course, you can play on a beach. It's so versatile as to what you can do with it and where you can play it. I mean, you don't even need to have like 11 on 11. Like when I used to play down the park, you would just have a couple of jumpers on the floor. Yeah, a couple of coats. They would be your goal posts. And then you would just have like everyone like trying to score. That's it. You chuck the ball out and everyone's trying to tackle, get the ball, and they're trying to score. There's a great game. It's called Different Things, but we used to play Wembley a lot. And Wembley is where you have one keeper, one goal, and then everyone's trying to score. And if you score 2 goals, you go through to the next round. And so, like, everyone's trying to tackle each other and they're trying to get the ball and they're trying to score goals. And if you score 2, then you go through to the next round. And then, obviously, each round, someone's that's left that didn't get the 2, they're eliminated. And so you just go through the rounds until there's one winner. It's a really fun game, actually. Really, really fun. I used to play that that's what we used to play all the time. We did sometimes play like games, proper games, but we used to just play Wembley. Croatia launching the ball down the right-hand side, trying to pass it around in the centre. It's Croatia that are in Brazil's half at the moment. Ball coming in, back post, cleared by Brazil. That was a late challenge there. That was a late challenge. I think that was number 4, Perisic. So jumping up, colliding into Militao. And it's a free kick for Brazil. Brazil bringing it out from the back. Coming down the right-hand side. Again, a Croatian player marking. I mean, like, some of this is going to be tactical. There's a great noise in the stadium, by the way. Singing and dancing. And Brazil always bring that kind of energy. But, yeah, we've got Modric colliding into the Brazilian player. Some of the poorer regions just don't need a ball. They use cow bladder and some land. Wembley was fun, said Turkish Chili. Oh, God, I loved it. It's probably my most played game ever. That's probably the most class way to play footy when you're young. We played that as well, and it's best when there's like 3 or 5. It's great, isn't it? It's great, I agree. I used to just play that pretty much every night after school, go down. Me and my brother, and there was a few kids over the roads, and there was a few other people around. There used to be about 5 or 6 of us that used to play each night. It's a lot easier to do that than it is to try and get like 11 versus 11 games going down a pot. Like, that just never happens. We just never had those kind of numbers. But that's the point. Like, this is why Brazil are so good, because football is so versatile. Like, you can pretty much make it work whatever. You don't even need a goal, do you? Just do keepy uppies. And just see how many of them you can do and just work on your skills that way. There's things to do on your own with football. I feel like with something like baseball, maybe you could practice pitching, but you can't really practice batting on your own. Because you would need someone to be pitching at you, wouldn't you? And, like, I suppose, like, all you need, right, I suppose, is a bat and a ball, but I just feel like it's a lot easier with football. Ball is with Brazil then. They're coming forward. Easy said, if England get knocked out, Southgate steps down. Do you hire coaches outside of England? We use coaches from Korea. Here's Brazil, edge of the area. Nicely cut out. Here's Brazil again, trying to play the ball over to the right-hand side. Brazil are looking to get to the byline, pull it back, but that ball, I think, going out of play. Almost 10 minutes gone here, you know. So to answer your question, would England use a foreign coach? They would. We've used foreign coaches before. We've had Sven-Göran Eriksson and we've had Fabio Capello. Both of those, I think I'm right in saying they're the only 2 foreign coaches. Everyone else has been English. But we've tried it and it wasn't brilliant. I don't think it really worked very well. I think that for me, English coaches would be preferable. I think that they are going to just get the England team a bit better. One of the things that I think Southgate's done really well is he's understood the pressure on the players. He's understood the connection with the fans. And I don't know that any other manager would understand that as well. Long ball being played forward, but offside. So I sort of feel like an English manager knows the pressure that English players are under with the media. They sort of know what the relationship is like and what it should be like with the fans. I sort of feel like a foreign manager might not understand that as well. A foreign manager, maybe better tactically than any of the English managers. But I don't know. I look at Eddie Howe and I'm like, that feels like a good appointment. Eddie Howe would feel like a good appointment. Graham Potter would feel like a good appointment. They're 2 great English managers, both relatively new into their roles, though, so I don't think we would get them. But like Thomas Tuchel is a foreign manager that I would still be willing to bring in. And maybe Poch So there's definitely some options if Southgate did step down, but I don't know that he will. He's got a contract till 2024. I think the FA are largely happy with, well, I think they're very happy with what he's doing. And if England go out, I think this is the point that he would have expected to have gone out in. So I don't think he leaves. I think it would have to be a disaster. I think we'd have to get battered in order for him to leave. I would imagine if it's a close game and we just go out, I think he would stay. Ball is with Croatia in their own half then. Nice turn, and Croatia driving forward. It's been a very even game. Here's Croatia. Ball coming over to the right-hand side. Ball being played in the middle. Oh, that's their best chance. That is Croatia's best chance. Perisic. Oh, ball coming over to the right-hand side. It's played in the middle, just on the edge of the 6-yard area. He's got to be getting that on target. He's got to be getting that on target. He gets his foot on it, and it ends up going wide. Yeah, I mean, they'll take encouragement from that, but, oh, man. You're not going to get too many golden chances like that. That was really good. That was a ball played in, edge of the 6-yard box. And he gets contact, but puts it well wide. Damn it, Croatia, said Taruka. Deanna said, baseball, you can use a tee to hit or throw in the air. Practicing baseball solo would be easier than soccer. No, absolutely not. I mean, all you need is a ball. I mean, as long as you've got a ball, you can practice, like, your shooting accuracy. You can practice, like, keepy uppies. There's loads of stuff that you can do on your own. Like, with baseball on your own, I don't... what can you do with striking? I don't understand. Just, like, chucking it up in the air, but that's not how the ball comes to you in baseball. I mean, I understand you might be able to practice, like... you might be able to practice, like, pitching, but I'm trying to think down a park... What can you do on your own? And the other thing as well is if you're down a park, like, and you pitch a ball, you got to go running and grabbing it, haven't you? Like with football, you can go find a wall of some kind or some kind of surface and like kick the ball against the wall. This conversation was all about like why are Brazilians so good at football, and the point we were making is that you only need a ball. And you can practice it on a beach, in an alleyway, on the streets, anywhere. You can hone your skills with one person, 2 people, 3 people. I think it makes it one of the cheapest, if not the cheapest, and most versatile games that anyone can just pick up a ball and play. And I think that's why you see it like embraced by so many countries because of the versatility and how cheap it is, to be honest. Ball is with Brazil then. We're at the 15-minute mark. Coming over to the right-hand side. We hire coaches from Korea and assistant managers from Spain. When the local coach took over, the team was a mess after the pandemic. The new coach, the team is more compact. Deanna said, I've spent thousands of hours throwing a ball on a wall and catching it, practicing ground balls, high catches. I use a tee to practice hitting either right or left side of a field. Okay. I mean, I don't know what a tee is, to be honest. But I still stand by the fact that I believe that is harder for people to do on their own than have a football that, you know, is going to be cheaper and you can go anywhere and you can do it with 2 people, 3 people, 4 people. Brazil have got it in the middle of the park, playing it over to the left-hand side. Dortnight said Croatia could surprise us. Practicing is everything you need to do when it comes to anything, says Tharuka. Brazil playing it out from the back then. So they've really struggled. They've actually had more possession, but they've really struggled to like get it out of their own half. Some of their best chances have come when they've played like long balls forwards. They're struggling to play through Croatia, which I suppose shouldn't be the biggest surprise because Croatia are really compact in the centre and their midfield is, I mean, it's brilliant. Their midfield is one of the best midfields in this tournament. Ball coming over to the left-hand side to Vinny. He knocks it back. And again, the ball going back to Brazil's half. We're 17 minutes in. Deanna said, I've done both. I've played soccer 10 years and baseball 15. As someone that's done both, baseball is easier. I disagree. I completely disagree. I've played football and I know that it can't be any easier. How can it be any easier than one person and one football? How can that be any easier? How can it be easier? I mean, for starters, you need two items. You need a bat and you need a ball. I need a ball. So straight away, football's easier. I'd have to think that getting a ball is going to be cheaper as well than buying a bat and a ball. I would also imagine that it's easier juggling a football, kicking it against a wall than it is a baseball. Aren't baseballs like really hard? So like, how are you like going to be smacking that against a wall? To be honest, it's a conversation I don't really care for because I already know that a football is going to be much easier. Hence why, you know, so many countries embrace soccer because it's cheap, it's versatile. You can have it with one person, you can do it with two people. And we've already spoke about ways that you can do it with like one person, two people, three people, four people. It's versatility is why it's got that universal appeal. And how cheap it is. We can't ignore that there's a lot of developing countries that embrace soccer because you only need a ball. So to say that like baseball is like easier to like for people to play, I just think you're wrong. I think you're wrong. You need two items compared to one as a starting point. Ball being played into the middle of the park. You act like because poor people play it, it's easier in the Dominican Republic or Cuba. No, I just think it's easier to play for one person. It's clearly a point we disagree on. Done. That's it. For me, you need a football, and that's it. And that's, you know, this is the conversation as to why is it played all around the world? Why is like Brazil? Why have they embraced it? Why is it the number one sport in the world? For me, it's for the reasons that we explained. If you think that baseball is easier for people to play on their own and to pick up and is cheaper and all of that, fine. I don't. Ball on the left-hand side for Vinny. Me and my mate used to play Kirby, which is just kicking the ball off the curb. Yeah, that's played a lot in the streets in the UK. Never used to do that because of like traffic, and I was always a bit concerned about that. To be honest, and also we had a park over the road, so shot comes in by Neymar straight to the hands of the goalkeeper. But yeah, I mean, there's lots of different things you can do with the football. Kirby, as you say, where you just try to improve your accuracy of like hitting the curb or, you know, trying to hit certain spots on a wall. I mean, you can just get a bit of chalk and draw some on a wall as a goal. And you can even put like little circles on a wall and see if you can like chip the ball up to get like hit the different points. It's like loads of different things you can do. Keepy uppers as well, as we said. See how many times you can keep the ball in the air. Lots of little tricks that you can try and do, little flicks as well. Right, ball going out of play. We're just over 20 minutes into the game so far. 76% for Brazil, 24% for Croatia. No one has had a shot on target. I'd say the closest that we've come has been Croatia. But putting it well wide. It should be obvious why it's easy to practice football. Dominican Republic produce a lot of good baseball players, but it's a team effort. It's not something they do solo. Ball goes all the way back to the keeper and gets played over to the right-hand side. I don't think he should rule it out when he's not done it. Well, look, we just agree to disagree, don't we? We agree to disagree. This game is pretty decent so far, says Tharuka. Dante said Croatia is going to beat Brazil. It's easy to get soccer going worldwide because it's inexpensive, says Michael. That's why Brazil has got so many players. They take a football when their parents send the kids to the shops and they juggle their passion, and that's the love for football. It's true. I think they genuinely do play a lot of like honing their skills. I think there's different ways of like honing your football abilities. Shot coming in and it goes wide. I think there's different ways of honing your abilities. I think that, for example, a lot of people think you have to play like 11 on 11 and you have to play games to like get good. When actually we're starting to see in the UK a few more like cage footballs opening up. I know that Declan Rice said that there was a cage kind of football court that opened up in his local park. And that was a big game changer for him because it's really tight. It's really compact. You're being forced into like challenging people. It's not like people are just passing the ball like around you. Like it's a lot more intense, if you will. It's even some of the cages in like football parks are even more enclosed, much more enclosed than like say five-a-side pitches. Even those can be a bit bigger. So these ones are a lot more like compact and it sort of forces you to engage with the opponent. And he was saying that that's something that really he thinks helped like evolve his game when he was younger. And so like we're just seeing like different things like that coming through. And I think with Brazil, they do a lot of juggling, a lot of tricks. I think they, do a lot of that kind of ball work when they're young. I don't think we've ever really done that. I think that what we've done in this country, and I think this is where like grassroots football is really interesting. I think a lot of what we've done is we do a lot of just down the park playing Wembley. I don't know really if that hones your skills so much. I don't think Brazilians tend to do that as much. I think they're into a lot more of the ball juggling, a lot of the ball trickery, and then that shows itself out on the pitch. Foul here and a book in for Danilo. So Danilo picking up a yellow. This is going to be an interesting area for a free kick here for Croatia. Right, Modric standing over the ball. Going to look to whip it in. This could be interesting. It's just on the edge of the penalty area. It's over to the right. Modric playing it in, and it's headed clear. That's a shame. They should have done better there. There's one player from Brazil that's a player to watch. His name is Endrick. He's just signed with Real Madrid. However, only can Real Madrid in 2024 due to his name. However, he can only play for Real Madrid in 2024. Is that what you're saying? No red cards been handed out. No red cards. They should electrify the cages. They should electrify the cages. Yeah, it was really interesting listening to Declan Rice talking about that because it really got me thinking more about what we do with grassroots football. Because obviously, as an England fan, I want to see England producing better talent. And I think that maybe the way that we go about it is not the right way. I think, we have a lot of kids that will play football and play down the parks and stuff like that, and that's great. That's better than not playing football, but I think at an early age, there's maybe certain things that kids can be learning, and I don't know, different drills that they can be doing. And even if there was just a way of getting that information out to the masses, if you want to be great at football, then work on this, this, and this. Because when I was a kid, it was literally go down the park, play Wembley. But if there was okay, I need to do this drill, I need to do that drill and stuff like this, or you've got if you want to be a top footballer, you've got to be able to do 50 keepy ups. Then all the kids will be practicing their keepy ups, won't they? I never did. I was rubbish at them, so I never practiced them. But if I knew that obviously was going to have a benefit, then maybe I would have. But you don't really think about ball control and all of that when you're a kid. You just want to score goals. Do you know what I mean? So it's really, I don't know. It's just really interesting. It's really interesting thinking about how the Brazilians go about it compared to what we do in this country, and then listening to Declan Rice talking about how playing inside this cage down his park, he really gives that a lot of credit for his development. Brazil trying to play the ball forward, cut out by the Croatian defence. Dortmund said, would Lovren and Maguire be the most underrated centre-back partner in World Cup history? Probably not. I'm sure there's been more underrated defenders, but Maguire's been having a very good tournament. He has made a few mistakes, though. We can't ignore the first 20-odd minutes in that last game against Senegal. That was not great. That defence still concerns me, but I think that we've only conceded the 2 goals, and both of them were against Iran. So I think we're showing that our defence is not bad. Ball being played over to the right-hand side, whipped in the middle. Bouncing around, and it's brought down. Nice work, and by Thiago Silva, who plays it back. Endrick is the name that people are talking about right now. He's 16, and he could be a big star. Francesco said Brazil have grown into this game. Yeah, it is true. It has settled down. We've had a bit more action as well. We're starting to see a bit more action around the penalty areas. But still waiting for Croatia to get a shot. Charging forward, ball being played into the middle, gets passed back. Yeah, ball going over to that left-hand side. By Perisic. Oh, that's a bad shot. So the ball was switched over to the left-hand side. Perisic managed to get to the edge of the area and then skied it over. Perisic is getting some opportunities, though. He's getting into some good positions. We've seen Perisic receiving the ball in this final third in a few tasty areas, but just he does not have his shooting boots by the looks of it. Croatia, though, they'll be really pleased with how this is going. Brazil have had a couple of shots, but nothing really of significance. And they've had, you can see, expected goals is 0.22 for both sides. So Croatia are, dare I say, even showing other teams how to neutralise. Pulled Neymar back there. It's going to be a yellow card for the Croatian player. Neymar was starting to break away and he just got pulled back. So yellow card. Some of these are going to be tactical, of course. Brazil is starting to keep on Croatia's ends more now. Thrug said, are you doing anything special for 300,000? I don't know, dude. I feel like we've got to get there and we've got a long way to go. So it's not even part of my thinking at the moment. Joseph said, SmackDown tonight it is. Steve said, would you have England plus 3 easy teams in the semi and win the final 0-0 penalties and it classed as the worst World Cup ever, or go against the best team and take your chances? I'd take, anything that results in England winning and it being, I don't care if it's classed as the worst World Cup ever. doesn't diminish anything in my mind. In my mind, you win the World Cup, you win the World Cup. I made the point on one of the streams earlier up in this tournament, and that was that you can sort of name the previous winners. I can go back and name the winners so far, but I couldn't name every winner like ever for every year. But in no way could I tell you any of their paths. I might be able to tell you some of the finals, but in no way could I tell you the paths that the teams took to get there. It's something I said that I wish I'd have done actually before the tournament. Sit down and go, this team won in 2002. They had to beat, in the round of 16, this team to get to the final. Because there's a good chance that a lot of those teams that ended up winning the tournaments had a couple of easy games, to be honest, or what you would deem as easier games. I think that there's an idea that in order to win the World Cup, like, you should have to beat all these tough sides, and that's just not the case, is it, clearly? It's just not, I mean, here, look, we're seeing Brazil as potential winners. You know, they're going to have gotten past South Korea and Croatia to get to a semi-final. Now, Croatia are a tricky side, but they're not one of the fancied sides to win the World Cup. And South Korea, borderline, shouldn't have been in the round of 16 at all. So this idea that, like, I don't know, England, for whatever reason, want to make it hard on themselves, want to feel like that winning a World Cup by beating these lesser nations would somehow mean that the World Cup didn't mean as much, which I just completely disagree with. I think a World Cup that's won in 2022 is just as valuable as a World Cup that's won in 2014, 2010, 1982. Like, it makes no difference. Doesn't make any difference. So no, I would take if it wants to be regarded as the worst World Cup ever, it would not bother me in the slightest. I would celebrate just as much as if we'd have beaten Brazil, France, and everyone else. Croatia have got the ball. It's been passed around. I've used my 12th man, and I've put on Vinicius Jr., says Wrestle with Andy. Wrestle with Andy, shout out to you. I hope it pays off for you. That should have been a cards. He grabbed Neymar. He did, and he did get booked for it. Jilly said, I love your love for this sport and your enthusiasm. Have you got enough on your daily plate tracking down each team's paths? How would you find the time? Well, I mean, to be honest, I wouldn't find the time right now, but it's something that I should have done before the tournament. I just think that would have been quite interesting to have gone, did you know that when such and such won in 2014, they had to beat this, and this team? Because it is something that comes up a lot about England, that like they keep getting like easy draws and, you know, they've never really been tested and all this kind of stuff. And for me, my answer to that is that there's, you know, I'm sure there are plenty of teams that had relatively easy paths and still went on to win the World Cup. At some point, you're always going to face a difficult team. I can't imagine getting to the final and not facing a tricky side. Ball is cleared by Croatia. So even if England had beaten Croatia in 2018, they still would have had to have got past France in the final, which, you know, I don't know that they would have done, to be honest. I doubt they would have. I feel like our team now is much stronger than the one from 4 years ago. If England goes out, would you like to see Argentina, Portugal? Not really, to be honest. The team that I would like to win if England go out would be a team that hasn't won it before. So that automatically disqualifies. Ooh, Richarlison trying to get past some congested Croatian penalty area. Croatia are living a bit more of a charmed life at the moment. The action is all around their penalty area, but no shot has come in. We've still only had the 2 shots on target. But no, Argentina have won it twice before, so I wouldn't want to see them to win it. I do not give a flip about the Messi-Ronaldo thing. Don't give a flip. I am not a romantic in that sense. I must admit, I sort of don't understand this love that people have for like Messi and Ronaldo from an English point of view. Like for me, it's all about England. I don't really understand like this. I understand like the appreciation of them, but there are people in this country that would rather see Argentina versus Portugal and see Messi versus Ronaldo than see England in that final. And I can't understand that. I can't get my head around that. Like there are people that just want to see that game, more than want to see England in the final, and I just find that strange. So I'm not like that at all. So if England aren't going to get there, I'm not really bothered as to who's in the final. I'd rather it not be France because they won the World Cup last time. So in my mind, they have already celebrated. They got to celebrate it 4 years ago, and so I think some other fans deserve to celebrate. So it doesn't really bother me who gets there. If I had a choice, I would say have some teams that haven't won it before. Have some teams that have never won it, like Netherlands, for example. If England aren't going to get there, then let's do Netherlands versus Morocco, right? I'd rather do that than Argentina, Portugal. I think it's because people would want like the battle, the hype, the builds. Who's the greatest player ever, all this kind of stuff. I ain't interested in that. I'd much rather see like the fans' reaction that have never won it before. I mean, imagine the scenes in Netherlands. Imagine the scenes in Morocco. I'm sure the scenes in other countries that have won it before would be equally as good, but for me, if I got to choose, I'd rather give it to a country that's never experienced that joy, Even in this country, we've won it before. The love for them is there. They're the two talents that will never be seen. It's probably the last World Cup for them. It'd be amazing to have them in the final as a farewell. I agree. I'm not a big Messi or Ronaldo fan. I'm a Gareth Bale. I'm an only fan of Gareth Bale, if you know what I mean. Thuig said Netherlands Morocco would be an interesting final, one that no one expected. I think it's because people associate whoever wins the World Cup with that person being the GOAT, and that's ridiculous. I agree, to be honest. I agree with that. So, like, if Argentina win it, I mean, it could be that it was a Messi show, but Messi equally might have done nothing in that final. And honestly, if Portugal get there, I think there's a really good chance Ronaldo doesn't even start the game. You're bang on. It would be billed as Messi versus Ronaldo, and the game would not be that. If anything, it's super disrespectful to all the other players that are on the pitch. Just like how like saying this is England versus Mbappe is like super disrespectful to the other players that play for France. So it's all hype, it's all marketing, it's, do you know what I mean? It's all just that. So it's not a game that I buy. If we get it, then fine. I wouldn't be against it. I wouldn't be like anti it, but it's not a match that I care for. That match does not excite me any more than say Netherlands Morocco. Or anything along like any other lines really. Brazil France to me is just as great, if not dare I say even better, than Argentina versus Portugal. Free kick here to Brazil on the edge of the area. Talent said two talents that will never be seen. Mbappe is going to make them look small, as will Haaland's goal record, says Undercover Manager. If England don't make to the final, then I would like Argentina-Portugal for the Messi-Ronaldo ultimate Classico. But obviously England comes first, says Retribution. See, I can understand it. I can understand like English fans as long as they want England first. But as I said, I see loads of people that are like salivating over that match. That Messi Ronaldo match, and it just doesn't do it for me. And to the point where, they'd be all right with England going out if it meant that Portugal got to the final instead. Some weird football fans, man. Some weird football fans out there. Right. We've got a free kick. This is from just outside the penalty area. Ball coming in. Took a deflection, but straight into the hands of the goalkeeper. I'm tired of Messi and Ronaldo. It's exhausting. It reminds me of Pepsi and Cola. Ronaldo won't play if they got there. I agree. Steve said I couldn't care about Messi, Ronaldo. Ronaldo won't even play. I agree. I mean, I think before what happened with him being subbed off and being a petulant child, I think if that hadn't have happened, there's maybe a chance he would have, because dropping him is such a difficult thing to do. It's such a big call. But I think Ronaldo was an idiot because he made it easy to do. I mean, if he hadn't have had that outburst, I don't think he would have been dropped. But because he had a bit of a strop and had a moan and a complaint, the manager wanted to stamp his authority on the team, and so made it easier to drop him, which is, I mean, is his own worst enemy sometimes, Ronaldo. And so now, as I said, I really don't know if he makes it back into the side now. Not after how well they looked against South Korea. Ball being passed about by Croatia then. Croatia trying to find a way forward down that left-hand side. Through ball, but Brazil going to get on the end of it. Nice, good work. Just stopping that going out for a corner. It's launched forwards. Comes over to the right-hand side. Here come Croatia. Trying to come forward, but no joy. Brazil's attacking force just isn't on the same planet as Ronaldo, Ronaldinho, and Rivaldo. They're not as good as that team. I still think this Brazil team are favourites to win the World Cup. And, you know, Croatia are difficult. They're a difficult team. They're a well-organised team. They've got some good individuals. And as we said, they got to the final 4 years ago. So we know that this is not an easy game. But I still completely agree that this team is not the same standard as, you know, some of those Brazilian sides that we've seen before. Are you doing UFC tomorrow? We are, yes. I think it's up on the channel. Ronaldo is his own worst enemy, just like Walter White. It would be nice to get it. If you're going to put the match over your national team, that's ridiculous. But if your team isn't in the World Cup and you support one of them, then all is good, says Andy. Yeah, I mean, support who you want to support at the end of the day. And I think, you know, there's people that support teams not because of the team, but because of individuals. We see a lot of that. And we see that a lot of that at club levels, where people support teams because of certain players, and even people that change teams because certain players change teams. Like, you know, people support who they obviously feel a connection with, and sometimes that's not a team, it's a player. And I think we've seen that with the likes of Ronaldo. Messi to a lesser degree because he hasn't moved around as much. But I think Ronaldo has a fan base that follows him. I don't know where that fan base is now, though. I don't know what that fan base thinks about everything that's been going on. I mean, before on social media, if you ever spoke out against Ronaldo, there would be like an incredible backlash. I don't know if that backlash is there anymore. Ball being played forward by Brazil, but intercepted. Here come Croatia. Going down the right-hand side. I don't like all the crying I'm seeing from Neymar, says Michael. Edge of the area by Croatia. Ball coming over to the left. Croatia are giving as good as they're getting, you know. So, commentator said the game has been fizzing along. It's been fascinating. It might not be the most gripping of games so far. It's finely balanced. You can see that both teams are pretty much 50% possession. So 51% for Brazil, 49% for Croatia. Brazil have had 5 shots, Croatia have had 3. Brazil have had 3 on target. Not really any of them that significant. There was a free kick towards the end that took a slight deflection that, needed keeper behind it. But it's not like we've seen any, stunning saves or Croatia really, an incredible shot that just gets pushed over the bar or defenders having to, dive in for blocks or anything like this. It's relatively comfortable, dare I say relatively straightforward at the moment for both sides. It feels like Brazil are still in first gear, to be honest. Doesn't feel like Brazil have gone through the gears yet. Their expected goals is 0.27. Croatia's expected goals is 0.25. And you can see, people just aren't really standing out. A couple of players in that Croatian midfield, maybe. I think it's, Croatia's midfield is better than Brazil's midfield. Brazil's midfield is very attack-minded. I mean, you've got Casemiro, you've got Paqueta. Both of them have been brilliant at this World Cup. But, I mean, look, up against a Kovacic and a Modric and a Brozovic, that midfield for Croatia has been very strong and very consistent. You find Vinny obviously getting forward, Rafinha getting forwards, Neymar just kind of roaming freely. It does mean that there's a lot for Casemiro and Paqueta to have to do. And at the moment, we're just not seeing really much getting into Richarlison. We're seeing a couple of moments for Vinny. I'm seeing a few bits for Rafinha and Neymar, but not loads. These two teams at the moment are very much cancelling each other out. And as we said, 3 shots on target for Brazil. You'd have to say that they've just took the edge in that half, but there's really not much in it. I think Croatia will go in really pleased with that. Really pleased with that. If they'd have found themselves 1 down, 2 down, you'd be looking at this now going, yeah, I can't see a way back, to be honest. 1 down, maybe. 1 down, maybe, because you'll always get a chance against Brazil because they're, constantly looking to go forward. They're not a team that's going to put loads of players behind the ball, for example. So if you're only 1 goal down, maybe, but I don't know, two down, and you start to think, well, it's going to be hard to get 2 past Brazil. And then not only that, there's every chance they're going to get another one because they're constantly looking for a goal. So 0-0. It's interesting. Finally poised. Did you see that Luis Enrique has left? I did, yes, I did. If Brazil continues, then Croatia is going to eliminate them, said RD Avester. Croatia has been playing better. Steve said 0-0 again. Dort Knight said it's nice to see the enthusiasm around Brazil just dwindle a little bit. They are beatable, and it's coming home. The game can go either way. Mohammed, shout out to you, buds. I would say that Croatia's going to take it to a shootout, says Mohammed. I feel that what we're going to see here is we're going to see Brazil go up a gear. I think that Croatia are going to keep things tight. I think that the second half is going to be even closer. I think that Brazil are going to need to step it up. I think they're not going to want to go to penalties. They're not going to want to go to extra time. They're going to want to get this sorted in 90 minutes. They are the better team. I can't say that they're necessarily the better team in this game, but I feel like they've created the better chances. I feel like, by and large, it's very close, but if there was a team that probably should be leading, I feel like it probably should be Brazil. But there's not much in it. I mean, again, you look at expected goals, there's not much in it, man. It's really close. I think Croatia are going to have to weather a bit of a storm in the second half. Can Croatia win this in 90 minutes? I really don't know. I think if they're going to do it, I agree with Mohammed, it might have to be on a penalty shootout. Maybe they could get something, steal something at the end, or steal something in extra time, but it's going to be really interesting. I think they're going to have to weather a storm. Jedi Knight said France are going to kick England out. Ty said France will win the World Cup. Light said Croatia should win this. Andy said it's really amazing that the two players we've had for about 13 years at the top level. I appreciate we having them. Messi is more talented, but Ronaldo works harder, and he is a full athlete. RDA said Brazil needs more in midfield to build up the game. With only strikers, it's hard to get that build up. I completely agree. I just don't think that service is getting to the front line. And I think by the time it is, Croatia have got plenty of numbers back. I feel like Croatia are definitely winning the midfield battle. And I don't really know what changes Brazil can look to deal with that. I'll tell you one thing about Brazil that I think is a bit of a concern for them. And that is that I don't think there's much of a plan B. There are players that you can bring off the bench. They've got depth, but I don't think that they've got really many tactical alternatives. Like, they're not going to switch to 3 at the back. They're not going to change to a 4-3-3 or anything along these lines. Like, Brazil play how Brazil play. They play with this 4-2-3-1. And you can change like Vinny for Martinelli, and you can like switch out like Anthony for Rafinha, but you're still playing in the same system. So if they're struggling in midfield, I really don't know what they're going to look to do. I mean, you ain't going to take off Neymar to put a bit more steel in that midfield. I mean, honestly, this is where taking off Richarlison and dropping in another midfielder would actually make a lot of sense. And then putting a bit more steel in there, and then having Neymar as kind of a Harry Kane role where he is the 9 but also the 10, and he can feed in the wingers and kind of I would be looking to do that. I don't know that they're going to do that. I feel like they're just going to try and up the intensity, and they're just going to pass a bit quicker, and I don't know, see if they can go through the gears a little bit, but just largely still stick with this same formation. And maybe that's going to be their undoing if they come across a system that they can't find a way around. And maybe that system is Croatia. I think the winner of England-France will play against Brazil, said Mustafa. Mustafa said England versus France is going to be the game of the tournament. They've been the best teams at this World Cup. Yeet said Portugal is definitely winning the World Cup. Brazil is just too weak. RDA said Portugal is going to win the World Cup. Mohammed said Croatia did it in 2018. Same footprint. Is Triple T going to stream Deadline tomorrow? I don't think so. Tarek said, are you excited for SmackDown? I can't say I'm excited. I'm looking forward to doing the wrestling stream. Excited is such a weird word. Like, excited would be that I just can't wait. I don't really feel that way about Raw and SmackDown. Like, they're just constantly there. Like, I'm sure they're going to be good shows. Excited's a weird word. If it was WrestleMania, then yeah, or Royal Rumble. You know, those kinds of things. I'm sure they're going to be good shows. Excited's, I don't know. Excited's a weird word to use, I think. Wrestling Observer says that WWE internally, Roman Reigns will wrestle both nights at WrestleMania 39. Interesting. Got to think that's Royal Rumble winner night 1 and Rock night 2 then. I would drop Richarlison for Fabinho, says Ty. That makes sense. Yep, I could definitely see that. I think it gives you a bit more steel in the midfield. Means that you can go toe-to-toe with Croatia, and you should be able to get more into that forward line. And I don't think that forward line needs 4 attackers. And you don't see Vinny or Rafinha or Neymar or Richarlison really getting back and doing much in the way of defensive work. And as I said, for me, this is where they're just struggling a little at the moment. So I think that would be a smart change. Croatia is better and way organised Serbia. That's why Brazil are having a hard game. They're struggling to break them down, says Andy. Brazil look ordinary. This team has got no heart, says Josh. Wrestle with Andy said, I wouldn't mind Roman on both nights as a way to split both titles again. It's interesting. Croatia is better and well organised. Legend Killer, hello. Shout out to you. Hope you are well. Right now, we are just watching England interview with Gareth Southgate. They're just talking about, obviously, tomorrow and Mbappe and all that kind of stuff. I feel like I've just seen so many videos on this. It's just absolutely everywhere. Any football channel that you go on is pretty much talking about that game and breaking it down and doing previews. And really the conversation is about Walker and Mbappe, isn't it? It's really about our right back against their left winger and who's going to win that battle. And it is an important battle, but there's lots of other battles that are going to be going on, like Griezmann against Declan Rice, for example. I think that could be absolutely fascinating. And how Stones and Maguire are going to deal with Giroud, for example, who could also be getting overlooked. Dembele against Shaw. No one's really talking about the battle between Dembele and Luke Shaw. How that's going to go. I mean, I feel like Dembele is going to have the beating of Luke Shaw. I'm a little bit worried about that. We're all thinking they're going to go down that left-hand side. They might have a little look over on the right and see if Dembele can get the better of Shaw and see if they can get any joy down that side. So it's so many battles all around the pitch. How's Rabiot and Tchouaméni going to deal with Bellingham and Henderson if that's the formation we're going to play and the people we're going to play? Lots of little battles everywhere, but the one everyone's fixated on is Walker and Mbappe. I think Dembele would expose Shaw, and that could be what the difference is, says Redemption. Iceland versus Singapore for the World Cup final, says Tony. One day, maybe. RD Avester said, for me, the WrestleMania plan would be Cody dethroning Roman and Kevin Owens and Sami dethroning the Usos. The storyline is building itself up. The only thing is Solo that appears to be The Rock's angle. I'm doing great and I'm watching the World Cup. Very cool. Martin, shout out to you. Anonymous said Foden and Saka need to be on their game tomorrow. They do. They really do. Yeah, all of them do. I mean, Foden and Saka need to, I think, help out a little defensively as well. I really think Saka's going to need to... I mean, if you think about it, it's Mbappe and Hernandez up against Saka and Walker. And we need Saka to be helping out with defensive duties there. And, if Hernandez gets forward like he loves to do, Walker can't deal with both of those on his own. He can't. I don't even know if he can deal with Mbappe on his own. So Saka's going to need to do some defending. Thankfully, he's not bad at defending, actually. He's a pretty good defender. But, he's going to need an engine on him. He's going to need to do plenty of running because he's going to need to have to get back, help out Walker, get down the other end, see if he can get onto the end of some balls that are played over there. I think Saka's got the beating of Hernandez. If we can get the ball in that position, he can beat Hernandez. Hernandez isn't that great of a defender. So Saka can get past him, and that could really let England in. So it's such an interesting game. Such an interesting game. There's loads of fascinating battles all over the field. Battles that I think that France will win. As we said, I think Dembele's got the better of Shaw. I think you'd probably put Mbappe over Walker, but Walker stands a good chance of frustrating Mbappe a fair bit. But then equally, you look at, Bellingham. Bellingham's winning any battle that you put in front of him. And Saka, I think, gets the better of Hernandez. And honestly, I mean, Kane's interesting. Kane coming up against the likes of Varane. It's going to be tricky, that is. Good defender, Varane. That's going to be tricky. So there's some for England. There's some for France. There's some that I think are going to be close. Such a 50-50 game. I cannot wait for it. Even if I wasn't an England supporter, that would be the game that would jump out to me in this round. It would be the game that I would look at going, oh, I don't know. I don't know which way that goes. That game is juicy. Talking of juicy, we've got a second half that's coming up. This is going to be juicy as well. Second half coming up. Is this going to be sorted in 90 minutes, or are we going to need extra time and penalties? Brazil not able to really create much in that first half. What can they do in this second half? And more importantly, what can Croatia do? Brazil are making their way out. So far, so good for Croatia. So far, so bad for your stomach, though, says Louis. That's true. Easy said, other than football, what sport do you think England are good at? Cricket. Cricket. We're very good at cricket. We're not always good at cricket. But at the moment we are. We're like double world champions, and our test team is doing really well as well. So, cricket, I'd say we're really good at. We could be seeing a high goal game. The attackers for both teams are hard to defend, says Andy. This match is oozy. It's very oozy. Who's the better keeper, Pickford or Lloris? Pickford for me. I think Pickford's... You can argue that both have got a mistake in them, but I think that Pickford has shown himself to be an excellent shot stopper. I think he's really good with his distribution, and honestly, he might just be our best penalty saving goalkeeper that we've ever had. You always fancy him to save a penalty. Always fancy him in a penalty shootout to do something. And actually, he did. I mean, like we've won. I'm sure we've had 3 penalty shootouts under Southgate, and I think we've won 2 and lost 1. And the one that we lost was Italy in the Euro final. And I'm sure Pickford did make a save in that penalty shootout as well. Like at one point, we were winning that shootout. It's only because we missed 3 penalties in a row at the end that Italy went on to actually win that shootout. But yeah, for me, Pickford, I'd take Pickford. I think his distribution's great. Shot stopping's great. I think he's always delivers in an England shirt. He does have a mistake in him, to be honest. But, I mean, what keeper doesn't? I mean, it's hard to find a keeper that doesn't, to be honest. And certainly Hugo Lloris does. So, yeah, I would take Pickford over Hugo Lloris all day long. If you, I said earlier, if you was going to take the best 11 from the England team or the France team, I'm not just saying this, I genuinely believe it'd be about 7-4. You might go 6-5, but no doubt in my mind, it's advantage England if you actually take the best players from each position. Because straight away, I would take the keeper and I would take both of our... Oh, trying to get the ball away. I would take our goalkeeper and I would take both of our fullbacks. So there's 3 without even trying. Because Hernandez and Jules Koundé are not as good as Shaw and Walker. And I take Pickford over Hugo Lloris. So without even having to worry about the rest of the team, there's 3. Here's Brazil. Shot coming in. And, they didn't clear it. Good save. Oh, my God. Croatia living a charmed life, but the flag goes up. They didn't clear it. It fell to a Brazilian player. He took a shot. It's a good save. Brazil have come out and they're putting some real pressure on right now. Are we having a look for handball or something? It is complete panic in that area. Look, oh, that's bad. No contact. Look, he's having a little look. He tries to clear it. He ends up knocking it straight. Oh, it does hit his hand. There's a lot of standing around. This could be a penalty to Brazil. When the ball comes down, it hits straight onto his hand. They're having a look. How much he knew about that, I really don't know. I mean, it does hit his hand. So check is over and there's no penalty. Wow. That would have been nervy because it did definitely hit his hand. nervy. Probably the right call, because as the ball comes down, like, I don't think he moves his hand. Yeah, commentator saying we have seen those given. No penalty. Drama. Ball is back in that Croatian defence, going down the left-hand sides. Bouncing around, here's Modric. Driving forward, nicely intercepted. Gets headed back, goes over to the right. Kept in play. Good work so far here by Croatia. Croatia suffering a scare. That might just wake them up. Shock them into going into a second gear themselves. In all fairness, though, they've been working hard, battling hard. Ball going down the line. Can Croatia play this in? It goes out. It's going to be a corner. Corner to Croatia in the 50th minute. Francesco said Brazil are in second gear now. Redemption said, I feel like rarely is a handball ever on purpose in the box. Why would you handball it unless it's definitely going in? It's if you move your hand to it, though, sometimes like you can move, and because you're like moving, sometimes it can, you're right, not be on purpose, but it could be a bit subliminal. Ball coming into the middle. It's up in the air. Back post. Not. Oh, my God. Sometimes, like, it can be a bit like you're maybe trying to protect yourself, or you're jumping up. The ball's coming here. You've misjudged it. And you're jumping up. You're moving your hand, and your hand hits the ball. So it can be a bit of a misjudgment, a bit subliminal. It could be anything like that. But we see those given all the time. This one, it looked like the ball came down and like hit his hand and arm rather than him moving it. He didn't seem to move it. We only saw the replay once, so I can't say with 100% certainty. But yeah, not given. They looked at it. They didn't even do one of them. Didn't even do a review. So they were happy with it in the studio. Adrian said, come on, Brazil. And also, I'm COVID-free now. Yes. Shout out to you, Adrian. Dort Knight said, the Croatian right back reminds me of Snurna, who used to play at right back. Legend Killer cheering on Brazil. Croatia on the ball, playing it over to the right-hand side, going down the line, and it's cut out by Brazil. They're mopping it up. Now they're looking to turn and drive forward. Here's Neymar. Neymar's got a few Croatian players around him. He manages to get it over to the right-hand side. So Brazil on the ball, knocking it forward, but Croatia intercepting. Lovely work by Croatia. Being put under a little bit of pressure. Ball goes out of play. 52nd minute. Is this extra time? Is this penalties? Edward, shout out to you. Ball coming over to the left-hand sides. I finished with my girlfriend. She's talking to her ex. It's for the best. Better to part ways than mess around. Ball is being played back. Plenty of fish in the sea, Edward. Harif says no penalty. Yeah, Brazil are just passing it around in the centre at the moment. They really don't have anywhere to go. Trying to knock it forward, but nicely intercepted. Here come Croatia, playing it into the middle. Could Croatia get to their second World Cup final? All of a sudden, it's not feeling as ludicrous. Edge of the box, Croatia bringing it down. Floating it in. Oh, sails over everyone's heads. And that could have been very interesting. Looks like they're going to bring on Anthony Brazil by the looks of it. You doesn't know this, but England also good at field hockey. They are number 6 in the world, and they're going to compete in the World Cup in Malaysia. The World Cup, and they're now also in the World Cup, now ranked 10th in the world. I knew that we were okay at it, but I could only judge that from the Olympics, because whenever we get to the Olympics, we're always there or thereabouts. But I didn't know that we were like going in as a favourite for the. Are we a favourite? I don't know. What you say? We're sixth. It's good, isn't it? Edward, no point being second best. Very true. Ball is coming over to the left-hand side. Brazil have got it in their own half. Here's Neymar coming back very deep to pick up the ball. He's got a couple of Croatian shirts around him and they make the tackle. Down the left, Danilo into the centre. Richarlison, good work. Brazil, save. Good save. Brazil definitely creating better chances now. Here's Vinny. Vinny on the ball in the middle. Cleared by Croatia. We knew that Brazil would go up a gear. They had to. They just had to. And they have. Ball goes all the way back to the goalkeeper. Sticky Buds, shout out to you. I sense a Brazil goal coming, says James. England are number 6 in the world, and Malaysia number 10. The World Cup will be held next year in India. Shiran said, what subs would you make? Well, for me personally, well, it depends who for, but Brazil, I would be trying to strengthen the midfields. So I would be looking to take off Richarlison. I'd probably bring on Bruno. I think Bruno's been fantastic for Newcastle. And I think that he would provide a bit more steel in the midfield. I think you don't, in this game against Croatia, I just don't think you need 4 attack-minded players. I think you could do with a bit more in midfield. And I don't know why he doesn't turn to Bruno. As I said, so good for Newcastle. So I'd be looking at him. I mean, Fabinho would be a great option as well. Maybe Fred's. Ball in the middle. It's up in the air. I mean, they're bringing on Anthony. I haven't seen who they're bringing him on for. Rafinha. Bringing him on for Rafinha. So it's kind of what we said at half time. If they come up against a system that they struggle against, they don't adapt. Rafinha has gone off. So a right winger has gone off and they've brought on a right winger. They're keeping the exact same system, even though they've been struggling to break this Croatian team down. And honestly, in this day and age, can you do that? Maybe if you was, an amazing side, maybe the Brazilian side of the early 2000s. Can this Brazilian side do that? I genuinely don't know. I genuinely don't know if this Brazilian side is good enough to not be adaptable. They've took off a right winger and they've brought on a right winger. And what I will say is that Brazil have gone up a level and they are looking better in this half. So, maybe they feel like the momentum is with them and the goal is coming. But I'd be super, super tempted to put a bit more metal in the midfield. Lots of noise. We're in the 58th minute. This game is really fascinating. Really fascinating. Because Croatia have given as good as they've got. Ball going over to the right-hand side then by Croatia. They're in Brazil's half, passing it around. Just struggling to really get into that final third. Do you know Luis Enrique stepped down? I do, yeah. They've got their under-21 manager in charge now. I mean, to be honest, I think it's right. I think it's the right thing to do. For the longest time, Spain have been all about passing the ball, but no end product. Oh, lovely. Lovely little play here by Croatia. They're just passing it around, edge of the area, right on the edge of the box. Just trying one too many passes there, Croatia. Just trying one too many passes. Excellent tackle. Lovely. And they've picked it up in midfield as well, Croatia. So, for me, Spain, they are a great side. Incredible passing, incredible teamwork, but we all know their problems. Their problems are putting the ball in the back of the net, an end product. They keep the ball, they pass it around, they're stunning, but where's the goals? Where's the end product? We thought it was here at this World Cup when they put 7 past Costa Rica. But on reflection, that was their best performance. After that, it was 1-1 against Germany. After that, it was a defeat to Japan. And then they get through to the knockout rounds and they go out to Morocco on penalties. Same old Spain. Same old problems, same old Spain. I understand that Luis Enrique is like a fantastic coach, but we're not seeing anything change. And if you're just going to do the same things and show no development or evolution, then, what I feel like it's probably best to part ways with him. See, under Southgate, I feel like we do see improvements. I think that if you look at where we are now and compared to where we were 4 years ago, I think this England team is undeniably better. Granted, it's been blessed by a lot of individuals that have come in. It's not like Southgate's having to use the same stars. But equally, it's not like Spain are using the same stars. Spain have got options. But and they're not the same team they were 4 years ago. It's not like Belgium. No, like Belgium, there's not much that I think the Belgium Martinez can do. I think that his team is aging. It's in a decline. There's no players for him to turn to. Whereas I feel like Spain have got options. Maybe they don't have that star striker. Maybe that star striker's not there. But equally, they have so much possession. They should have done more with it. So frustrating. How can you have that much of the ball? Like 1,000 passes. And you just cannot create chances and score goals. So, yeah, I actually think that if they brought in a new manager and they could just tweak that, find a solution to that, I mean, they would be scary. They could with their midfields, go on to really challenge for World Cups and tournaments. I mean, they're sort of there or thereabouts anyway. Spain were 4th favourites here. So I think it's good for him. I think he wanted to go back to club football anyway. I think it's good for them. Ball is still in Brazil's half at the moment. We're in the 62nd minute. There's only 28 minutes left of this game, Here's Croatia coming forward. We've had 4 shots on target by Brazil. If we have a look at expected goals, it's 0.41 for Brazil, 0.33 for Croatia. Here's Croatia coming forwards. Ball in the middle, bounces and gathered up. What about Van Gaal? Is the Netherlands playing the same way they did when he was in charge in 2014? No, they're playing different, actually. Netherlands now are starting to play more counter-attack than total football. So, Netherlands have always been a very well-rounded team. And they've always been a team that's tried to be very versatile. They've been a team that's always tried to, I don't want to say go toe-to-toe with teams, but they're a team that have always tried to play attractive football and play. Not really like strategies of let's sit deep, let's try and catch teams on the counter. But they've always been a team that's tried to play. And in 2014, they very much were a team that was trying to do that, and that's always been their identity. But actually, now we're seeing a Netherlands side that is more counter-attacking and is willing to sit a bit deeper, allow teams on, and then use their pace, use, Memphis, use Gakpo, and try and, hit people on the counter. So they are playing a bit more different now. And my understanding is that it's a bit hard for people in the Netherlands to accept this new style. I was actually listening to a preview of Netherlands versus Argentina, and they were saying they had someone from the Netherlands on, and they were saying that people in the Netherlands are, they've been told this is how we could win a World Cup. Not that we're going to win a World Cup, but this is how we could win a World Cup, is by playing this counter-attack style. And we're just struggling with it. You can see it's not natural for us. Hence why the Netherlands have not been putting in great performances. Maybe if they just went out and played, their performances might be better, but there's no guarantee the results would be. But, this is what we're told we have to do. So, yeah, under Louis van Gaal, they're doing a lot of counter-attacking. I think the Dutch are not looking as great, not looking as comfortable with it. But who knows? It could be something that works. It's something that Louis van Gaal believes in. I think that, though, that's also a team that might benefit from a different manager. There's a lot of talent there that, I don't know, you feel like it's not being utilised correctly. Don't know. It's difficult. I just don't feel like we've seen much of Frankie de Jong, for example. And I feel like Frankie de Jong is such a wonderful player. There must be a way of, unleashing him a little bit more. It's hard. I mean, look, international football, it's tricky. I think that actually Netherlands were probably in a trickier group than we gave them credit for. I think Senegal and Ecuador were not easy games. And certainly USA weren't. And I don't think Argentina's going to be. So I actually think part of it might be that the Netherlands have not had really an easy time. I mean, honestly, it looked like Ecuador were going to qualify from that group. It was either them or Senegal. Vinny has just gone off, by the way. Vinny, ball, good save. Brazil trying to put the pressure on, but there's a good save there by the Croatian keeper. It's a real scramble. What we're not seeing from Brazil is a really great shot from outside the box. Everything they're doing is around the outside of the 6-yard area. It's all scrappy. I don't know why we don't see Casemiro just booting one. Because Casemiro's got a wonderful shot. Vinny went off and we got a replacement. I didn't see who it was. It was Rodrigo that has come on. Ball is going all the way back to the Brazilian defence who have really pushed forward. They're into Croatia's half. This is a good spell here for Brazil. It's a good spell for Brazil. They're really camped into Croatia's half. Ball coming over to Anthony. Anthony trying to use some of that trickery. Can't get past the Croatian player, though, and the ball goes into the centre. Lots of room in the middle. Lots of room on the left. Croatia have got shirts back, but this is where a shot from outside the box could be really interesting. Who can win the game for England? Bellingham. I genuinely think Bellingham can have as big an impact on that game as Mbappe, which, when you say it, sounds mental. But we've seen it. I mean, he has got the ability to pick up the ball, beat a few players, and play a through ball. He has got the speed, the strength, the power, the vision, the accuracy, the ball playing skills. When he runs with the ball, it just sticks to him. He can weave in and out people. I mean, I've seen him in an England shirt with 3 opposition players around him trying to get the ball off him, and he has managed to work his way out of that little group. It's so strange to talk about an England player in that way, but when you listen to people swooning about him, which the world is doing right now, you realise this is the breakout tournament for Bellingham. He's arrived. He's a world star that has arrived at this World Cup. I think Julien Laurent was saying that in France, when they talk about England, all the talk right now is about Bellingham, and they love him in France. They've been really impressed. And I was watching ESPN, and those guys in America are swooning about him. The world is talking about Bellingham. So Bellingham has got the ability to provide a bit of magic. Foden has got the ability to provide some magic. I think he's been having some of his best England games at this World Cup. And we all know what a talent he is. The England players, some of them were asked before they left and came to Qatar, like some questions like who's the joker in the group, who's the hardest trainer, who's the worst singer, all this kind of stuff. And one of the questions that was asked was who's the most technically gifted, who has got the most natural born skill, who is just the most technical, like amongst you all. And pretty much all the answers came back Foden. Everyone was pretty much in agreement that Phil Foden is the one that possesses just the most incredible technical abilities. And obviously they see it week in, week out, or day in, day out in training. And I just thought that was really interesting that it was his name that was getting mentioned. Obviously now it might be Bellingham after what we've seen at the World Cup, but going into the World Cup, Foden. So I feel like Foden has got the ability to do something. Bellingham's got the ability to do something. Harry Kane, of course, has got the ability to do something. Saka's having a great tournament as well. He's got the ability to do something. I feel like these are names that can do something for England. And then obviously your defence is going to have to try and neutralise France. So Walker's going to have to neutralise Mbappe. Luke Shaw's going to need to do a job against Dembele. Stones and Maguire are going to have to try and keep Griezmann and Giroud quiet. Obviously, they've got Declan Rice as support as well. Declan Rice can make a massive difference. We see him make a big difference for West Ham in the Premier League. I keep saying it. I think England have got a great chance. Great chance. I genuinely think it's a 50-50 game, and it's going to come down to who wins more battles. If Dembele's going to keep getting the better of Shaw, that's going to give France an advantage. But saying that, if Saka's going to keep getting the better of Hernandez, then maybe that equals things out again. Obviously, Mbappe and Walker's a key battle, but so is Griezmann in the middle of the park. Shot coming in, blocked by Brazil. Brazilian player goes down, and referee blows his whistle. Who do you favour if this goes to penalties? I would favour Brazil just because you know they've got so many strikers, and they've got one of the world's great keepers in Alisson, that even though going to penalties I think would be a bit of a blow for them, I think that if it went to penalties, they've got so much. They've got penalty takers. You know, I'm sure Richarlison takes penalties. I know that Neymar takes penalties. I don't know about Vinny. He probably doesn't. It's probably Benzema. But they've got people that can take penalties. And so I wouldn't worry about their takers. And I certainly wouldn't worry about their keeper. So I still feel like it would be advantage Brazil if it goes to penalties. Do you think you want to be a ref for a football match for 90 minutes, even if it's an amateur game? Would I want to be a ref? No. I don't fancy running around for 90 minutes and getting no glory at all. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't understand why anyone would want to be a ref. You run around and do all that exercise for 90 odd minutes, and at no point is anyone going to cheer you. And if they do, it's only because you've given a decision in their favour, which you only would have done because it's the right thing to do, or you believe it to be the right thing to do. So you're only doing what the right thing is. And if someone's cheering you, that means the other team's booing you. So I don't get it. I can only imagine it's just a fitness thing. Here's Anthony cutting on the inside. Ooh, went down, but referee not interested. Tells Anthony to get up. We're into the final 17 here. Anthony picking up the ball again. Casemiro trying to play it out wide to Neymar. Good tackle by Croatia. We could be going to extra time, you know. We've only got 14 minutes to go. I reckon a goal in this might decide it. Good luck to both squads. My country didn't make it this far, says Michael. One goal for Brazil is all we need, said Harith. What has been the best game so far after the group stage? Best game after the group stage. I must admit, I don't know if any of the round of 16s were great games. I suppose Japan Croatia was close. Spain Morocco might be the game because it was so compelling. It's a bit like this one actually. This has been a good game. I haven't felt bored watching this game at all. Sometimes you can watch games and be a bit like, oh, I'm not feeling it. Like, for some reason, I just wasn't feeling Croatia and Japan. But this one, because there could be an upset and a lot of people's favourites could still go out, it's really compelling. And I think that was the problem with Croatia-Japan, was that there wasn't really a favourite. I suppose it was Croatia, but it wouldn't have been by much. And if Japan had knocked Croatia out, I don't know that it would have been like this massive shock. So I think that's probably why it suffered a little bit. So I struggled with that one. So I suppose that makes Morocco and Spain the game of the last round. From a performance point of view, you might look at the first half of Brazil against South Korea if you want to look at like just an incredible team performance. And of course, what Portugal did against... who did they beat? I can't even remember who they beat. Switzerland. Into the final 15. Croatia are great defensively, but weak on the attack. England would mop the floor with Brazil, says Finbar. Spain-Morocco game got intense, but only after the extra time for me, says Tharuka. I think I can't remember how I felt in the first half, but I think the second half got into like this one as well. Oh, through ball, Brazil, shot, wide. Oh, Neymar takes a shot and the keeper is keeping Croatia in this right now. It definitely should be 1-0 Brazil by now. There's been some real scrambles in that penalty area. Here's Brazil playing the ball in the middle, bouncing around, and Croatia looking to bring it away, and they do. Being very patient, actually. Goes down. There's a foul there on Modric. Foul on Modric. Going to be a yellow. Yellow shown. You have to be careful with yellows, because if you pick up 2 yellows, you miss the next game. So anyone that was yellow carded in the last game, I think if they get yellow carded in this one as well, they miss the semi-final. I don't think you can miss the final anymore. It used to be a case that you could miss the final if you picked up, say, 2 yellows. But I think they get wiped after this. Marquinhos has been yellow carded. That's who picked up the yellow. Duarte said, imagine if Croatia win this. Great save by the keeper, says Hamad. There was a fair few one-sided games in the round of 16. The rest, tactical and cagey. So 5 attempts by Croatia, but nothing on target. 9 attempts by Brazil with 6 on target. Yeah, I mean, look, this game is really... I must admit, the first halves in this World Cup have not been that interesting at times. But the second halves, like even this one now, like any goal now, you've got to think that team is going through. Obviously, if Croatia score, Brazil will go up another few gears because they are not going to want to go home at all. Yeah, there is some frustration being shown by that Brazilian team. Ball being played across. I mean, look, if Brazil do go out, that must drastically increase the chances of Argentina reaching the final. Mustn't it? It must drastically increase the chances. Ball brought down by Croatia. Ball coming across. Knocked forwards. Chested down by the Brazilian defence. Ball being passed around and comes into the middle of the park. Played down the right-hand side. And it goes out. According to PW, Sasha is supposed to be at Wrestle Kingdom. Thoughts? We touched on it earlier. I think it makes sense. I think it would be good for them. I think it would be good for her. Ball intercepted there by Croatia. Croatia are driving forwards. They're on the ball. Brazil still have plenty of players back, though, and he took too long. Too long on the ball there. Got to do better. Croatia, offensively, have been awful. There's been too many times where they've had the ball and then they've been just depossessed. Ball is being played over to that right-hand side. Here's Anthony. Anthony trying to drive forward. He's looked really lively, Anthony. Lovely ball knocked forward. Whipped into the back post. Anthony has been a real live wire. Shot comes in straight to the hands of the keeper. Wow. Wow. Shot comes in. Keeper was there to deal with it. But Anthony's looking really lively. Really good. He is quicker, more dynamic. He's asking some more questions of the Croatian defence. Like, some footwork, some trickery, feinting and faking. And he's just really injected a bit of momentum into the team as well. But it's still the same setup as what they were playing before. We're into the final 10. Come on, Brazil, said Legend Killer. I knew Croatia would stink up the joint. They're boring, said Josh. Don't take easy on Argentina versus Croatia. Well, yes, they would have to get past, but I'd have to think that Argentina would be favourites in that game. A lot of people predicting it would be Brazil versus Argentina, and it absolutely still could be. So I think anything other than that, if it's Brazil versus Netherlands, Brazil will be heavy favourites. If it's Argentina, Croatia, Argentina will be heavy favourites. Doesn't mean that it'll be an easy game. But we need to get there first with only 8 minutes to go. I mean, this is just fantastic for Croatia. We haven't been praising Croatia enough, actually. If you remember what Brazil did to South Korea and just how fantastic they looked in that game, Croatia have been able to really nullify Brazil. They haven't kept them completely quiet, but, who would be able to keep them completely quiet? But they've done so well. Ball into the middle, headed towards goal, and it goes over by Brazil. Someone needs to crack Livakovic. Come on, Brazil. Livakovic is doing really well in goal. Really, really well. Just seeing the Croatian fans there singing away. Could you imagine if Brazil go out? Could you imagine? I'm desperate for it. I'm pleading for it right now. Come on, Croatia. You haven't had a shot on target in the whole game. You haven't had a shot on target in the whole game. You definitely should have at least one. Yeah, they've won the ball back here, Croatia. They're driving forwards, beating a few players, and the Croatian player goes down. That's going to be a free kick to Croatia in Brazil's half. Croatian free kick. They need to bring on the extra man in midfield if it does to control the game, said Francesco. The last time Croatia versus Argentina, World Cup 2018, Croatia 3-0 Argentina. Croatia is good in midfield, said Easy99. James said Croatia sucks. They're putting me asleep. Richarlison is going off. Richarlison off. And Pedro on. Santa's also watching this game in the crowds. Well, Richarlison has certainly not done it, has he? So that makes me think about who I want as captain. I can't go Mbappe because I can't sit here hoping Mbappe does anything. So I'm going to have to go Messi, aren't I? I'm going to have to go Messi. It's either Messi or Fernandez. Messi or Fernandez. How many points has Fernandez got? He got 7, 16, didn't play. Last game he got 5. He still managed to get 5 in that last game. Here's Croatia. Ooh, it's tricky, isn't it? Messi has looked good, though, in the World Cup. Ball going all the way back to Alisson, and he clears it. Yeah, I'll go Messi. I've got Messi. Ball in the middle. And Brazil bringing away. I hope Brazil goes through, said Harif. I hope Brazil goes out, said David. I hope Brazil goes out. Here they are. Ball coming over to the left-hand side. Into the middle. Brazil on the edge of the Croatian area. Here's Casemiro. Excellent. Excellent work. That shot was being teed up and he just took it right off his foot. Here's Anthony. Oh, shot goes wide. Damn. Militao takes a shot and it just goes wide. Brazil are really putting the pressure on. Really putting the pressure on. There's a woman bouncing up and down. Guys jumping up and down as well. Brazilian fans trying to urge Brazil on. Corner. Whipped in. Cleared by Croatia. Oof. I tell you what, this could be a real nervy few minutes for Croatia. It's going to be a real nervy few minutes as the ball goes out. Nick said it's snowing where I am from and the signal went out. Well, 0-0 at the moment, buds. 0-0 at the moment. If Portugal and England head in semi-finals, I'll be... X-Drive, shout out to you. Shout out to Wrestling Jake as well. Ball going down the line. The Brazilian crowd are cheering them on, but I hope they lose. Yeah, they're all on their feet. The drama, the intensity, everything has been turned up to 11. Referee says no. No foul. And Pedro wanted something for that, but he doesn't get anything. Here's Croatia. Croatia on the ball. Brazil being pushed maybe into extra time. Croatia on the ball at the moment. You know there'll be plenty of added on time, though. We're in the 87th, 88th minute. Croatia just passing the ball around. Being chased after. Ball is back with the central defender. Yeah, this is such a nervy time. Any mistakes here? Croatia passing it around. It's making me nervous. There we go. He's got a bit of space, bit of breathing room for Croatia now. Modric dropping deep, trying to play a through ball. Comes back to Modric. Ball coming back into the midfield, driving forwards. Sosa, ball, edge of the area for Croatia. Oh, good tackle there by Brazil. I just want to see Croatia take a shot. I just want to see them test the keeper. So far, we've had no shots on target. Yeah, the commentator's saying Croatia might only need one chance to win this game. But we're not even seeing that one chance at the moment. Ball gets knocked back. It's the ball is just with Croatia. I mean, I don't know if they're just not pushing it or just like they're not trying to force anything at the moment. They're just really happy to pass it about. It does sort of feel like they're quite happy to go to extra time and take their chances, maybe on penalties. Modric plays the ball forwards, edge of the area. Can he take a shot? Ball is floated in. I would have liked to have seen him, took a touch, got a little closer, and just tried a shot on target, to be honest. Rodrigo, there's a bit of a cheer here, but there's plenty of Croatian players back. They're living a little bit of a charmed life. All been played for. I think Croatia are also very aware of not committing too many players forwards because of Brazil like countering them. Ball being dinked in. Oh, needed a touch by the Croatian defender. Up in the air. We're in the 90th minute. Someone asked Brazilians what is the most popular sport. They said volley. So they asked what about soccer. They answered him soccer is a religion. Anthony, ball being played in the middle. Headed clear. Yeah, it is just wave after wave after wave of Brazilian pressure and attack. And now they're getting it to Anthony. Anthony playing it into the middle. 4 added minutes. 4 added minutes. Neymar. Ball. Rodrigo goes out for a corner. It's a corner to Brazil. It's a corner to Brazil. 4 added minutes. We're seeing the Brazilian fans chanting away on their feet. Here we go. Ball in the middle. Headed clear by Croatia. High drama. 91st minute. 91st minute. I'm with Portugal as we're Portuguese, but if England were victorious, we would be happy for you. Love this community and the hard work. X-Drive, Wrestling Jake, shout out to both of you. Yeah, everyone's welcome. If you're cheering France, if you're cheering Portugal, if you're cheering Brazil, if you're cheering Croatia, everyone is welcome. It's what the World Cup's about, isn't it? Cheering on your team. Ball bouncing around. Good work there by Brazil. Croatia managed to get the ball out their own half. Went to the Brazilian half. Brazil knocking the ball forward, but there's a Croatian player there to mop it up. Brazil, though, really putting the pressure on, and there's a handball there. There's only a couple of minutes left. This one feels like we might be looking at extra time. Feels like we might be going to extra time. I think Croatia are going to keep Brazil and take them to a penalty shootout. Croatia is more comfortable at penalties because they've already experienced it in the round of 16 rather than Brazil. Brazil, though, have got great strikers. They've got a great keeper. I really don't know who would have the advantage. I do agree that Croatia, having already been there, certainly make it a bit easier for them, but I don't know that they've got as good penalty takers, set of penalty takers as what Brazil have got. I really don't know. I don't know who wins. Penalties is always a lottery. Croatia would have, dare we say, just as good of a chance. But I feel like you'd be brave to bet against Brazil. Don't know, nervy. I mean, look, it might be Croatia's best chance because at the moment they've not even had a shot on target. So keep it tight, try and get it to penalties. If an opportunity comes to score, take it. If not, just take your chances on penalties. Look at that. We're seeing Brazilian. What are they doing? Bird sounds. Saw some Brazilian kids like doing something with their hands there. Croatia is lucky to be here, said James. As a Scottish person, I hope and pray England get to the final and then lose, so it hurts even more, says Edwards. Well, I'm sorry to rain on your parade, but actually the worst thing as an England fan would have been to have gone out in the groups, because then this whole World Cup would already be over. I actually think that the deeper you go into a tournament, the easier it is. Which I understand some people might think the reverse and think that the further you go, the closer you got to winning it. But honestly, after watching England not qualify or go out in groups or go out into a round of 16, there we go, end of full time. To see England stay in a tournament for as long as possible, like, I actually take something from the fact we got to the final of the Euros, and I take something from the fact we got to the semi-finals. Had we have gone out in the groups in both of those, it would have been worse, it would have been less enjoyable, and it wouldn't have given us something to, like, build on. So, man, if we lose a World Cup final, if you told me that we got to a final and lost it, I wouldn't take it, obviously, because I'd like to think we could get there and win it, but it's the next best thing. It's the next best thing. Imagine the excitement in the country if England get to the World Cup final. It would be mental. Just getting to the final would be mental. I can't even imagine it. I've never seen it. In my life, we've never got to a World Cup final. Right, extra time. Full time, 0-0. Yep. Croatia did a really good job of keeping Brazil quiet. Or as quiet as I think you possibly could. Are the Euros every 2 or 4 years, or every 4 years? The Euros every 4 years. And that is the only final that I've ever seen England actually get to with my own eyes. Mainly because it's only the second final we've ever gotten to. We got to the 1966 final, and we got to the Euro 2020 final. Those are the only finals we've ever got to. And we won the 66 World Cup, and we lost the Euros final. That is the biggest game I've ever seen. England versus Italy. There's no game bigger than that for me. But if we got to a World Cup final, that would be bigger. Can you stop talking about England? You're watching Croatia, Brazil. No, I'll talk about whatever I want to talk about. So if we want to talk about England, we'll talk about England, because that is a game that has got the world talking. Right now, it's 0-0 here. There's not too much to talk about because there's not anything going on. We are about to go over to the first half of extra time. But that is coming up in a moment. Let's get the clock ready. 2024 is in Germany. Yep. Expected goals. What is the expected goals? Expected goals. 1.35 for Brazil, so they definitely should have scored. And 0.4 for Croatia. So if you look at expected goals, Brazil should have easily won that 1-0. You could even make an argument that they should have been pushing towards a second. So Croatia doing really well to prevent Brazil from scoring. What would your opinion be if England and Portugal meets? Well, I'd love it. I'd love it if it was England versus Portugal. I'd absolutely love it. I would be over the moon. I think that it would be a real tough game. They can't meet in the final, but they can meet in the semi-final. I think it'd be a really tough game. I would worry about how much we'd given against France. I would really worry about how much we had left. But yeah, I'd be excited for it. I mean, England in a semi-final is just amazing, whoever they play. England in a quarter-final is amazing, because you just cannot take these things for granted. I've watched enough England not qualify, go out of group stages. Tons of times we've gone out in the round of 16. So to get to a quarter-final, to get to a semi-final, to get to a final, this is what it's all about. Right, here we go then. We're about to go underway with extra time first half. So Modric and Silva tossing the coin, making a call, and we're about to know who's going to kick off and who's going to go on what side. Looks like Croatia are going from left to right and Brazil are going from right to left. Cool. Mask of Venka for Stranger Things in the crowds. James said England, Portugal would be a very good matchup. Okay, here we go. Brazil are going to kick us off, and we are underway with the first half of extra time. So if you are new, we got to soccer or football. We are 15 minutes we play, and then of this first half of extra time. And then we change and we do another 15 minutes. Ball is coming over to the left-hand side. I think Brazil will win, but at least Croatia pushed them more than I expected, said Redemption. It is true. I am wondering if Brazil will find a goal because in this extra time period, because they really were putting the pressure on at the end of the match. And it did feel like they'd gone up a gear. And I do think that since Anthony has come on, they've looked a lot better, actually. I think Anthony has been really good for them. He's been really lively down that right-hand side. In fact, what we haven't looked at is we haven't looked at, like, the teams and the scores. But you can see, like, some really good scores for Croatia. Not really much to get excited about in regards to Brazil, looking at SofaScore. Ball being played into the middle, headed towards goal, but there wasn't much on it. There wasn't much on that as it went towards goal, but it probably just needed someone to get another touch. We've got Paqueta has gone down. Paqueta's gone down. Right. Is it first one to score? No. It's not first one to score. It's we're gonna have the half an hour regardless. The first one to score was golden goal, but they don't do that anymore. Juranovic is going to take a throw in for Croatia. Ball is going down the line. Don't forget, we've got another game coming up today, and that is going to be Netherlands versus Argentina. Brazil playing the ball back to Alisson as there's a foul. We're already into the third minute here. It's been a weird World Cup, but very exciting, said Water is Life. Yeah, Raw Walker, it's just they're going to play the half an hour regardless. So 15 minutes, and then we change ends and we do another 15 minutes. So it's half an hour extra time. And it will be that regardless. There was a little pull there, in all fairness, by Sosa. So Sosa seemed to fishhook Anthony. At one point, it looked like he had his fingers in his mouth and everything. Foul there on the Croatian player. So it's going to be a free kick to Croatia in their own half. Ball played over to the right-hand side. Back into the middle. Goes down the line, gets knocked back again. Goes all the way back to the keeper. We could see all the quarterfinals go to extra time, said Easy99. What did Tom Daly and Brazil have in common? They're world-class divers, says Tommy. Very good. Hello to everyone saying hello. You can see there's people joining us at all times as obviously word spreads about this game going to extra time. Anthony going down. I think there's a misconception that Golden Goal went on all night. It was 30 minutes and it still went to penalties. Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, it wasn't until the first person scored. It was still half an hour, and if someone scored in that half an hour, then the game ended. If it didn't, then it still went penalties. Ball going back to the Brazilian defense. They've got the ball in Croatia's half. Yep. Ball coming over to the left-hand side. I must admit, I thought it was quite surprising they took off Vinny. Vinny, I think, looked quite good at times in this tournament. And even if he's not really lit it up here, it's just a bit surprising to see him go off. You always think that Vinny is someone that can create something for you. What do you think takes the win if the game goes to penalty? Who do you think takes the win? I really don't know. I think penalties are 50-50. I really don't know that anyone can go in really as favourites. I mean, you can make the argument that Croatia are the underdogs. They weren't expected to get to penalties. So for them getting there, it gives them a boost. And Brazil, who will have had 120 minutes to have found a win, they will obviously feel deflated. So you could argue that. You could also argue that Croatia have done a penalty shootout, so they've had a practice. They know what's expected. Lovely turn there by Anthony. Lovely turn. So maybe they've got the advantage. But then equally, I think if you look at the attacking talents, I think you would say that Brazil have probably got the better penalty takers. They might even have the better keeper. Got to get to penalties, though. Dinked into the back post, headed clear by Croatia. Lovely little turn there by Croatia. That was good. Lots of pressure, though. Losing the ball right on the edge of their penalty area. Yeah, Brazil are looking a lot better. Brazil are really starting to click into something that you would recognise as Brazil. Ball bouncing around. Croatia desperately trying to get it away. It feels like a goal's coming. Oh, some lovely little link-up play. Yeah, they've just managed to stop that Brazil move, but Brazil really flowing now. It really, really feels like a Brazilian goal is coming. Some of the link-up play, some of the forward play now is irresistible. And Croatia just cannot take the sting out of it. The Brazilian players are so quick. They're closing down so fast. It's a foul there, though, Croatia. Can they just keep keeping the ball and drawing out fouls and getting free kicks? And can they just frustrate Brazil? Free kick taken quickly. Ball is played back, and it's a beautiful ball in the middle there by Modric. Ball is bouncing around, but it's won back by Brazil. Massive drama if this does go to penalties, with most expecting Brazil to win in normal play, said Redemption. Sadly, I agree. Yeah, it's just hard. It's hard to know who would be favourites. I feel like you just never know with penalties. You really, really never know. It comes down to how people deal with the nerves. It comes down to how well they take their penalties. It comes down to how well the keepers do. For example, some of it is a bit of a guessing game because you can study the players, but there's no guarantee that they're going to do what you expect. So you could pick the right way or what you think is the right way, and they change and go the other way and score. So it comes down to a bit of luck, comes down to a bit of a guessing game, comes down to how, do you hit the post? You could hit a beautiful penalty, but it just clips the post and bounces back out again. So it's like, and then that changes the pressure on the next penalty taker. And I don't know, I just really don't know if you can look at penalties and say there's a favourite or whatever. I think that Croatia will be happy to go to penalties and take their chances that way because, to be honest, the way it's looking, it just feels like Brazil are going to score at any point. That was a lovely ball that was played in and ended up going wide. Dante said, this is a great game. Game is intense now. Croatia penalties would be dramatic, said Retribution. Here we go. Modric on the ball. Come on, Croatia. Come on, Croatia. Ball coming over to the right-hand side. It's up in the air. Bouncing around. Ooh, shot comes in, but no joy. We're into the 10th minute now. It's only 5 more minutes. And then we go to the second half of extra time. If nothing else, like Croatia are showing everyone else like how you can keep Brazil quiet. Does require a lot of hard work though. Ball coming over to the left-hand side for Brazil. Danilo trying to play a ball in the middle. Brazil just seem to have plenty of forward options. Oh, ball cut out by Croatia, but it was pinballing around. Here's Anthony on the right-hand side. Edge of the Croatian penalty area. No options. There is, I think, is that Danilo who's completely unmarked. Ball gets played back. Ball into the middle, up in the air, and straight into the hands of the keeper. Keeper goes down. So the ball was played in. There was some sort of connection, but it went straight into the hands of the keeper. I thought you might have watched. The only team I see scoring is Brazil. Croatia will just defend. That's what we're seeing at the moment, yeah. Have you got the heating on full blast? Because it's freezing, said Retribution. I don't know, to be honest. I don't think it is on at the moment. It's been cold, but it's I think okay. We've been having like frost at night, and I don't think it's that bad right now, but I haven't been outside obviously since the game began. But I could see grass, and that's normally a good sign. Normally when it's frost, it's like all on the ground. It's certainly been like that the past few nights. Here is Croatia driving forwards, but no joy. No joy. Croatia have still had no shots on target. No shots on target by Croatia. Yeah, they're trying to get back. They're a little bit stretched here, Croatia. Ball in the middle. Ooh, a little bit overhit. That's a great tackle. That's a great tackle by Croatia. Croatia coming forward. There's only one person. Oh, lovely work. Lovely work. Edge of the area. Take a shot. Oh, my God. What's a chance for Croatia? That is... Oh, my God. That is so frustrating. He had so many yellow shirts, and then all of a sudden it just opened up. Plays it across. He just needed to get that on target and ask the question. That is... Oh, so frustrating by Croatia. So frustrating. Oh, my God. That skill was sublime, said Retribution. He was the only player up for Croatia. He had 3 Brazilians around him. And he was able to, like, get through them. All of a sudden, it all just opened up. Played the ball to the edge of the area. And he skied it over. If he'd have got that on target, he could have really tested Alisson. So, ball bouncing around. Brazil trying to get it out. We're in the 14th minute. I live in Hollywood. I need to use my heater for the first time in years, says Long Beach Hippie. Wow. Poor shot, said X-Drive. Very poor. Very poor. There's been air pollution in India. What's the UFC 282 card? Not the strongest, to be honest. Not the strongest. You got Jan Blachowicz taking on Ankalaev. Main event. That's for the vacant light heavyweight championship. And then you've got Paddy Pimblett in the co-main event. Takes a shot and skies it. I don't think there's any women on that card. There's a few interesting fights. I mean, I would say that it is definitely a step up from like fight nights, but I don't think it's anywhere near as good as some of the recent pay-per-view offerings. For example, the main event is number like 3 versus number 4, which is perfectly fine. It makes a perfectly good like co-main event, but it's for the title because the champ had to vacate. But it doesn't really feel like a big juicy main event. I really don't know how the show's going to do. But it's a show. It's the end of the year. You know, it's the last big show of the year. Ball goes out. Are you doing UFC? Yes, we are, yeah. Enigma said, hopefully Paddy gets sparked. Dash Star, that's what Google is for. It's all about England. France, said Retribution. This is getting a bit end-to-end, said Alex. Have you been following Ariel Hawani and Paddy? I have, yeah. I feel, I could be reading it wrong, but I feel sorry for Ariel Hawani. Ball in the middle. Oh, 1-2. Oh, Brazil score. Brazil score. It's been coming. It's been coming. Neymar. They weave through that Croatian defense. Brazil score. Oh, heartache. Heartache. Let's have a look at the goal, shall we? It's Neymar. So, ball is passed around 1-2. He manages to get through, goes round the keeper, slots it in. It's great work by Neymar. It's great work by Neymar. Lovely 1-2. He gets past the defender. He goes round the keeper. I mean, look, he's playing 1-2s, getting into space, going round defenders, going round keepers, skying it into the roof of the net. It's a world-class goal by a world-class player. It's the goal that takes him level with Pele. And honestly, what a goal. What a goal to do it. Heartache for Croatia. They've had no shots on target. They're going to have to find one now. Retribution said, I wanted penalties. I think we all wanted penalties, yeah? Brazil spoiling the party. Paqueta. Yeah, that was really great. That's got to be one of the best goals of this tournament. It's got to be one of the best goals. It's not a screamer, but man, the amount of work he's just done there to, you know, do the 1-2, find the space, get past defenders, round the keeper. Cleared by Brazil. And it's really hard to see Croatia getting back into this. Really hard. Half time in extra time. We've still got 15 minutes to go. Go Brazil. Let's get another one. Truk said that was something special. Trini said that goal made me pause working. Yeah, Neymar. It's brilliant by Neymar. It's a moment. Look at the smile on his face. It's a moment of brilliance. 1, 2. Too much space for him. I mean, look at that. Oh, man. Brilliant. 1, 2. 1, 2. Oh. What I love about it is he actually lets the ball do a lot of the work. Look, if you look at how many touches he actually takes. Yeah, he only takes... So he does 1, he plays the ball, comes back to him. Plays the ball, comes back to him. He actually then doesn't take a touch. He lets the ball run. And then he takes a touch to go around the keeper and puts it in. If you actually, I mean, that's an amazing goal. He lets the ball do a lot of the work. Jurgen Klinsmann said he goes into that run not knowing where he's going to end up. I agree. Like allowing that ball to do the majority of the work. Just wonderful. Come on, Croatia. You can equalise, says Retribution. I don't think the goal was that great. That's how Blogs and Bit Neymar, we aren't salivating that much, said Fortnite. I butchered that message. You did. Was that the real Neymar? When that goal went in, every Croatian player looked distraught. They looked heartbroken. Yeah. It is true. Just a few minutes before that goal, Croatia should have scored themselves. World class by Neymar. That is how you play the game. Yeah. Moving in and out like he was weaving a basket, said Ernest on purpose. Open up the floodgates now, said Wrestle with Andy. 4-0 for a finish. Well, Brazil are definitely the team that deserve to be going through from this match. They've been the better side, but I mean, you have to give credit to Croatia and their defense and their ability to frustrate. Like, that's all part of the game as well. Right, here we go then. We are underway with the second half. We've got 15 minutes. 15 minutes of added on time. It's 1-0 Brazil, and Croatia have got to find something. Saying that it was a pleasure to witness that goal. The commentators, they're swooning about it. And I've got to think it's going to be in the running for goal of the tournament. Croatia are undeserving. It's well deserved for Brazil, said Francesco. Looks like it won't be an England-Croatia rematch now. Come on, Croatia, said Forever Red. Croatia played well, said Michael. Nadula says, come on, Brazil. Michael said, I think we all know Brazil was going to advance. Osprey versus Omega at Wrestle Kingdom could be a 5-star match. Sasha confronting Kyrie during a championship. This pay-per-view should be awesome. Ball being played into the middle, headed clear by Brazil. Croatia have got the ball over on the right-hand side, knocking it forwards. Playing it into the middle, cleared by Brazil. Can Croatia create an opportunity? Can they create an opportunity? That's the question. They've still had no shots on target. Can they give themselves an opportunity? They've got to go for it a lot more now. And these overhits and everything, they just can't be doing that, Croatia. Croatia did a good job, but it's not enough. I must be missing something with that goal, says Fortnite. Did Neymar now equal Pele's goal-scoring record, said Alex. He did, yes, he did. He did. I think that Croatia can get a chance. They've shown at the end of that first half they had a chance. I think they can create a chance. The problem is, will Brazil get a second before they do? Because you've got to think that Brazil are going to keep coming. They're not going to be defending. They might not commit players forward as much as they have been. But they ain't going to go all-out defence now, are they? Brazil don't even know how to do that. Ball going back to the Croatian keeper. He plays it forwards. We've already had 2.5 minutes in this 15. So 12 and a half minutes to go. That is it for Croatia to find an equaliser. Ball is being played over. Croatia do have the ball. Croatia in the middle of the park, driving forwards. Ball coming over. They've got to stop overhitting. I don't know if it's adrenaline or what it is, but some of these crosses, some of these passes, there's just a little bit too much sting on them. Ball going down the line. Whipped in the middle. Good ball. Oh, there was no one in there. Well, there was, but no one that could get on the end of that. Anthony is trying to put pressure on, and the Croatian player goes down. Looks like that's going to be a foul. I think it was Neymar, actually. Ball being played forward here by Croatia. Croatia knocking the ball into the centre. Here's Modric. What can Modric do? Plays it over to Sosa down the line. Perisic into Modric. Ooh, Modric away. Goes behind for a corner. It's going to be a corner for Croatia. Yeah, that was good by Modric winning that. I think the Brazilian players are taller than the Croatian players. Certainly going to be more Brazilian players in the box. What can Croatia do here? Looks like it's going to be a substitution. Did you know that... I did see about Celine Dion. Yeah, that's sad news. Sosa is coming off for Croatia. So Sosa is off. Substitution on comes Bundemir. What an amazing goal by Ronaldo, said X-Drive. Yes. Short corner. Edge of the area. Croatia have still got it. Passing it around. Comes back to Modric. He's going to look to whip it in maybe. Oof. Croatia have managed to get the ball. Oh, overhit. Back post though. Penkovic. I feel like Croatia are trying to be too smart. They pass it around short. They do end up getting a cross in. Goes to the back post. The Croatian player brings it down. Can't get a shot off. And it ends up getting cleared. Yeah, just get it in. Get it in. Like, you need, like, I know you've got 10 minutes, but I think we already need to be thinking route one here. Croatia on the ball, driving forward. Croatia are getting more of the ball. Brazil are sitting deeper. They are taking a risk, but they've got to take the risk. Edge of the area. Brazil trying to clear, and they do clear. Falls into the middle of the park. Here's Croatia again coming forwards. Lovren, ball into the middle, up in the air. Edge of the area. Referee blows his whistle. Oh, my God. It's so frustrating. Croatia aren't out of this yet, says Dortnight. Quite a goal, says Mohammed. Did Neymar now equal Pele's scoring record? He did. What happened to Celine Dion? She's got... she's having, like, spasms, I believe. Like, some... what's the word? Neurological. That's it. Neurological disease. She's been... diagnosed with, so she's had to cancel the rest of her tour. Right, 8.5 minutes. That's all we've got. Still no shots on target here by Croatia. It's been over 100 minutes of game time and still no shots on target. Croatia winning the ball, comes back to their defence, launching the ball forwards, bouncing around. Croatia trying to win it. Yeah, it is. They've got Budimir up there as well for Croatia. So Croatia are throwing players forwards. They are going for it. Brazilian fans in fine voice. Oh, foul. Foul on the Croatian player. The free kick quickly taken. No, it's not done. It does feel done. It does feel done because we've had over 100 minutes. We've had 110 minutes, and there's been no shots on target from Croatia in that time. They've got to get a shot on target. You're not going to score unless you do. They are looking for it. Here's Perisic going down the byline. He gets barged off the ball. It is good defending. And that's going to be a goal kick. Who would you start tomorrow if you were Southgate, says Daz? I have really gone back and forth on this because part of me thinks that I would go a back five and I would have Walker and Trippier to deal with Mbappe. And I would probably drop Foden. I think I might go with a 5-3-2. But I do understand the argument of why would you change your team just to worry about like the French. I feel like England and France is such a close game that if England played the 4-3-3, yeah, we might be a bit susceptible at the back. But equally, we know that we offer a lot going forwards. So, you know, do you go in with the mentality of Croatia, which is to frustrate the opposition and not concede and keep it tight and maybe go penalties? Well, if you're going to do that, I feel like the 5-3-2 is your best option. Or do you go, all right, Mbappe's great, he'll probably score, but we'll score as well. And you go more with, say, the old school Brazil mentality of, all right, we'll concede. And if you score 3, we'll score 4. I mean, that's the more exciting option, isn't it, in all fairness? And that would mean sticking with the 4-3-3. So I feel like there's two ways of going. I think you either go with the team that started the last game against Senegal, and they did look good. So you either do that or you go 5-3-2 and you have a very defensively minded team. And I must admit, like, I don't know which way is the right way to go. Because you could go 4-3-3 and France could get 2 quick goals. And, I mean, then you'd go, well, that was wrong, wouldn't you? I don't know. I suppose you just got to believe in yourself and believe in the team. And I've seen lots of people, like, arguing for both ways. So I genuinely don't know what is the right way. But I think England will go 4-3-3, and I think they won't change. Long ball, and it goes straight out. I don't think England's defence is good enough. They need to just try and outscore everyone, says Redemption. Have you seen Bullet Train? It's a crazy film. I don't think I have. Doesn't ring a bell. Croatia have got the ball in the middle of the park, but they've given it away. And here's Fred. Good challenge by Croatia. Ball going down the line. We got 4 minutes to go. I'll tell you what, if Croatia don't even get a shot on target, this will be very disappointing. Oh, here we go. Croatia bursting forward. This might be an opportunity. Croatia pull the ball back and a shot. And it's it! Croatia score! Croatia score! In the 27th minute of extra time! Oh my God! They pulled it back, slotted it in the corner. Croatia score! Oh my God! Wow! 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 Football! Bloody hell! Look at it! Came down, pulled it back. Just, oh my God! Edge of the area, just took a shot. First shot on target. And it goes in the corner. Oh, madness! Madness! Scenes! Beyond scenes! Scenes doesn't even do this justice. Oh, wow. It's Petrovic that scored it. Petrovic in the 27th. Well, it's not even the 27th minute. What is it? It's the 117th minute. Wow. Wow, 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 wow. Football. What do you say? What do you say? Stunning. Stunning. Never expected that. They have gone 117 minutes without a shot on target. 117 minutes without troubling the keeper at all. He didn't even need to be there, right? Completely untroubled. They get one shot on target, put it right into the bottom corner. Incredible. 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 Wow. Through said, I am loving this. It bounced off the Brazilian players to give it a little extra lift, says Ernest. Oh, look at the Brazilian fans right now. They're praying. I mean, there could be another chance in this game, of course. Croatia needs to be careful because Brazil are not out of this by any means. By any means. What does that... Again, you know, we talk a lot about penalties. What does that do for penalties? You know, Brazil were going through. They were all smiles. Croatia hadn't bothered them. They hadn't troubled their goal. And now here we are with Croatia getting back into this game. What does that do for the mentality? Orsic gets the assist. Wow. 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 I mean, what do you say? Wow. Incredible. Incredible. And the drama's only about to go up another billion levels. Here's Madrid. Shot from range! Oh, my God! I think it was well wide. I think it was well wide, but it didn't look well wide. Yeah, it had a lovely... had some speed and power. Dip. But I think it went well wide. Right, that's the 30 minutes. 2 minutes left. That is it. 2 minutes. And we go to penalties. Oh, my God. It's unbelievable. This is a tournament of surprises, says Saruka. Everyone started betting again. This is so fixed, says James. Oh, if it is fixed, I love it. If it is fixed, it's amazing. Here's... Oh, my God, he just got wiped out, man. He just got proper wiped out, Anthony did. Anthony was some trickery, and the Croatian players went bang! Oof. Tell you what, we've given... Yeah, is this going to be one last ball into the box? Yeah, this is going to be a nervy free kick, man. There's 1 minute. This is the last minute of extra time. It's not even the last minute. It's the last minute of added on time in extra time. Brazil with a free kick. Ball comes into the area. It's up in the air. It's not cleared. Shot comes in. Save. Oh, my God. Just booted away. Touches the arm there of the Brazilian player. Save by the Croatian keeper. Oh, my God. Look, there's women holding men. There's just... Oh, scenes. Is that Casemiro? Oh, it needed saving, you know. Needed saving. And we are into the final 20-odd seconds. Ryan Gambler said, thanks for streaming. Go Croatia. Ryan Gambler, shout out to you, bud. Shout out to you. Shout out to you. Ball is launched forwards. Referee blows, and it is penalties. It is penalties. It is penalties. Neymar shakes his head. He can't believe it. Believe it. Believe it. Oh, my flipping God. Can you believe it? I can't believe it. They can't believe it. I can't believe it. Right, here we go. Brazil. Croatia. Amazing. Pens. Wow. Where's oh, there they are. Let's get these lined up then. Amazing, 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 amazing. Do it for Mirko Krokop. Yes. Oh man, who would have thought? Look at it now. Penalties, says Alex. Francesco said this would be the biggest robbery of the tournament. Wrestling Overtime said Neymar is not 100%. Take a look at those Brazilian costumes. They know how to throw a party. Can't believe it, said Thruka. Juicy penalties, said Retribution. Bring it on, baby. World Cup has been unbelievable, says Duarte. We're getting what we asked for, said Flybirds Fly. Bill said, regardless of which ways these penalty goes, I'm not seeing a lot to fear from this Brazil team. It's a really good point, actually. I think even if Brazil do get through, Croatia have given the world a blueprint on how to deal with Brazil and how to nullify Brazil. Brazil looked very scary in the first half against South Korea. But now that they're coming up against a team that's really well organised, we're seeing something different here. We're seeing a Brazil show that they do have that moment of brilliance, but they are also vulnerable. There are vulnerabilities in there. And, wow, I must admit, I did not expect Croatia to get the equaliser. I will quite happily sit here and say that. The Croatian keeper's been on great form, you know. He's been on great form. He's done really well in the game. He's done really, really well. Brazil, Croatia. This can go either way. Heartbreaking if it's going to be Brazil going through on penalties, to be honest. I think a lot of people in the world are going to want Brazil to go out, mainly because they're the favourites. But not only that, I think that there are a lot of people that want Argentina, Portugal. And this would drastically increase the chances of that. Yeah. Both of the keepers are very good, said Thruka. It's unbelievable, Jeff. Do it for Thai Brazil, said Flybirds Fly. I'd enjoy Argentina, Brazil, but who says Holland don't win, says Dortnight. Croatia have brilliant defence. They always have, said TTIG. Solinesha says, come on, Brazil. I'll be back after the pens. I'm delayed. I don't want it spoiled. No worries. Despite being a neutral, I'm nervous, said Richard. I'm not a neutral. I want Croatia here. I want Croatia. I've wanted Croatia throughout this game. Again, I've said before, I always think from a what is best for England point of view. And, I mean, look, would I rather play Croatia or Brazil? I'd rather play Croatia. But Croatia have shown themselves to be a very, very good team. Right, looks like Croatia are going to take the first penalty. First penalty for Croatia. Oh, God. Come on. This is the least pressured penalty, I think. I think that, it gets you off on a good foot, but no one's took a penalty yet. No one's took a penalty, so if you miss, you're not out. The worst ones is when it's getting to the business end. Vlasic at first. I'm going for Croatia 3-0, said Dortnight. Oh, yeah. Who do you think? Who do you think's going to go through? Who do you think's going to do it? Which way are you leaning? I genuinely don't know, but I'm thinking it's going to be Brazil. Just because they've got, like, amazing forwards, you know. But we've seen that Croatia can take penalties. Here we go. First penalty to Croatia. Is it going to be a goal? Is it going to be a goal? Steps up. Croatia. Down the middle. And he scores. Lovely. Down the middle, and he scores. It's a good penalty. Alisson dives to his right, and he just goes straight down the middle. So, good start for Croatia. And, you know, again, this is where the mentality is really interesting because Croatia have done penalties. This is the first time that Brazil are taking them. Neymar is, can't watch. It's Rodrigo that's stepping up. Rodrigo's just seen Croatia score, so, and he knows the keeper has had a decent game. I think he goes to the keeper's left. And he did, and it's saved! Yes! You could tell. You could tell he was going to go to the keeper's left. Bang! Not a good penalty, and it's saved. Come on, Croatia! Oh, my days. He's been brilliant. Again, you know, it's only one penalty. It's only one round. Croatia in the lead, but it's nothing more than a lead. Brazil miss. My 3-0 is on, said Dortnight. Right, next up, Croatia. Take it. Down the middle. Down the middle. Little bit of pressure on the third Croatian player now because that's two that have gone down the middle. If I'm Alisson, I'm like, oh, I'm seeing a pattern here. Oh, Alisson tried to get his leg onto it, but couldn't get to it. Here is Casemiro. Casemiro stepping up for Brazil. Casemiro stepping up for Brazil. Oh, I tell you what, if he misses this, Brazil are in big trouble. Oh, he puts it in. It's a wonderful penalty, you know. It's a wonderful penalty. So it's still advantage Croatia. That was a great penalty. Keeper went the right way, but there was no stopping that. It was emphatic. So, at the moment, it is 2-1, and now, is that Modric? He is the regular penalty taker, Modric. He is the regular penalty taker. Here we go, steps up, and he puts it in. Calm as you like, mate. Calm as you like. It's in, it's scored. And you can see how much that means to him. Modric scoring. Oh my God. Amazing. Amazing. They've scored all three of their penalties so far. Pressure goes right back onto Brazil, doesn't it? Right back onto Brazil. Here's Pedro for Brazil. Steps up, and he scores. There was a little shimmy, but he scores it. They are still in this, Brazil. They are still in this. If Croatia miss their next two, and Brazil score their next two, Brazil would win. So if Croatia miss their next two, and Brazil score their next two, Brazil would win. If everyone scores their final penalties, though, Brazil lose. Because Brazil are the only team that have missed one so far. Here's Croatia. Please score. Please score. Oh, my God. Right in the corner. And that was close, you know. Oh, my God. It was close, but it's in. Croatia just need to score their final penalty. It doesn't even matter what Brazil do now. Well, actually, it does matter because if they miss this, they lose. If he misses this, Croatia win. If he misses this, Croatia win. If he misses, Croatia win. If Croatia scored their next penalty, Croatia win. The pressure on Brazil is immense. This is the World Cup. If he misses, they're out. Oh, Brazil are out. Brazil are out. Brazil are out. Wow. Wow. I don't know what you say. It hit the post. Brazil are out. Brazil, the favourites to win this tournament. 83% of people in our chat thought that Brazil would go through, myself included. And they are going home. They are going home. Croatia eliminate Brazil 4-2 on penalties. That is going to be devastation in Brazil. That is going to be absolute devastation. Brazil are 5-time winners of the World Cup, favourites for this tournament. This absolutely now screams Argentina getting to the final. Argentina now are going to have to get past Netherlands and then Croatia. Think about Argentina's path. They've had to beat Australia, Netherlands and Croatia to get to the final. I mean, it's not easy, but it's not France, Spain, Brazil, Portugal, England. Wow. Wow, 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 wow. What if Netherlands win? What if Netherlands win and we get Netherlands, Croatia? Poor Pele. We didn't see Croatia coming, said 100 million subscribers. Christ on a bike, said Mohammed. England are going to win the World Cup now, aren't they? Well, I don't think so, because we've got to get past France. And then maybe Portugal, and then maybe Argentina. So I certainly wouldn't be looking at this as England winning the World Cup, but one of the teams that I think a lot of people thought England would lose to in a final, if they got there, are going home. I think England's chances of winning the World Cup just went from like 2% to 3% or something. So it's just an amazing result, isn't it? It's just an incredible result. Everyone said, I mean, everyone, I don't know that I saw anyone, and again, I include myself, everyone said the semi-final on this side will be Brazil against Argentina. That's what everyone said, Brazil versus Argentina. It's stunning. It's stunning. It's so stunning, you can't find the words. Yeah, Alex Scott said that she predicted Brazil would win it. So who's winning the World Cup now? Who wins the World Cup? In my mind, it was Brazil. And I felt good about that all throughout. And then the first half against South Korea, I was like, wow. I mean, they're now going to a different gear. Wow. Imagine those Croatian fans in the 100 and, what was it, 8th minute or whatever, when Neymar produced that moment of magic, that incredible moment of magic. And imagine how they felt. I know how I felt. Imagine how they felt. Wow. Wow, what a result. Netherlands winning the next game would be awesome, said Taruka. Imagine this year's final is just a repeat of the World Cup final of 2018. It could happen. France against Croatia, and we get that again. Yeah. Yeah, it could be a repeat of last year's semi-final with England, Croatia. It could be Argentina, Portugal, and the final that a lot of people want. I mean, if you want that Messi Ronaldo final, I've got to think this is just the best news for you. Like, honestly, so many Messi fans are going to be celebrating this. This is huge. Oh, he hits the post. The keeper went the wrong way. The keeper went the wrong way. It's Marquinhos that missed that deciding penalty, and he hits the post. He sends the keeper the wrong way, and he hits the post. Yeah, that goal was stunning by Neymar. If you're a favourite, you've got to do it. Listen, they had 120 minutes, Brazil, and they didn't do it. It's as simple as that, isn't it? They had 120 minutes and they didn't do it. Neymar should have took a penalty. It makes no sense. We've got a little bit of lag by the looks of it. I'd imagine. Wow. Little bit of lag there. It's probably telling us that it's time to go because we need to get ready to go to our next game. But DB said that last penalty reminded me of Rashford's penalty in the Euros. James said Croatia felt very oozy. Mohammed, see you in a bit. Croatian goalie is the man, said Michael. Nadula said, Netherlands, Holland, you better beat Argentina. Michael said 120 minutes, and they let Croatia score with 3 minutes to go. Do you know what? I wonder if that played a part. I wonder if the fact they hadn't took penalties so far was a factor. I wonder if the fact that they were winning and it got took away from them so late was a factor. Don't forget, with 3 minutes to go, Brazil are going through. With 3 minutes left of extra time, Brazil are going through, and then all of a sudden it's taken away. It's just stunning. It's just stunning. Like, I need to go to get to the next stream, but I'm just drinking in your reactions, to be honest. I'm just drinking in what you're saying. The World Cup feels like Triple H took over. The booking said rise and beat. Rob said Netherlands versus England. Breezy said imagine Morocco win the World Cup. Gaming Dog said, is Brazil out? They're out. They're out. Croatia have managed to eliminate Brazil. What a game, said Legend Killer. Croatia is on the Isle of Irrelevancy. DB said, Netherlands, England is going to be my prediction for a final. Just saw a guy wearing a Neymar kit with his head hanging way down. Oh, they've shown Brazilian fans in just floods of tears. I mean, it is absolutely true. I mean, when we joke about how in Brazil, like, it's a religion, it is a religion. I mean, it's crazy to think how many... There's 200 some million people in Brazil. 200 million people in Brazil. How many are in Croatia? Croatia population. What? 3.8 million people in Croatia. Yeah. 3.8 million people, that's it. 3.8 million people. There's more people in London than there is in Croatia. And Brazil, 214 million. This shouldn't even be a match. To 214 million people, this game is a religion. This game means more than anything else. Like, football is everything. It's just everything. To 214 million, and they have just been knocked out of a World Cup by a country that's less than 4 million. It's stunning, isn't it? Isn't football stunning? How does this even happen? I mean, I understand you look at the game and go, yeah, okay, but Brazil were easily the better side. I get that. But they're still going home. They still couldn't get it done, could they? They still couldn't score. Oh, my God. England-Portugal is going to be revenge for 04 and 06. England-Argentina will be revenge for 86 and 98. England-Croatia would be revenge for 18. Croatia are just penalty gods. Yeah, I tell you what. You better beat this team in full time because you don't want to go to penalties against Croatia, do you? I mean, that's the one thing you can say if you're Argentina is that you need to get it done in full time. You don't want to be taking this game to flipping penalties. James said, this is why we love football so much. Anything can happen. Adam said, the beauty of sport, the beauty of believing. DB said, no one wants to go to penalties with Croatia. Alex said, England need to go through France first. Well, it is true. I mean, look, certainly if you're an England fan, you can't get carried away with this because it's a stunning result. Look, we're seeing Neymar in absolute floods of tears. Neymar in absolute floods of tears, having to be helped up to his feet. Thiago Silva coming over, trying to help him. He's just absolutely inconsolable. I would run the laughing sound effect, but honestly, I feel really sorry for him. I feel really sorry for him. I mean, devastated is the only word that you can use, to be honest. Devastated is the only way you can explain what we're seeing there. Brazil couldn't score in 90 minutes. That was the problem. Lovren is the king of defending. Tharuka said, Japan, watch and learn from Croatia on how to take penalties. My friend told me that Brazil would lose if it went to penalties, said Breezy. England need to get through France. Brasilia, which is Brazil's third largest city, is almost as big as Croatia, says Brian. It's mental, man. It is mental. This is such a mental World Cup. Who wins the World Cup? I'm being serious. Who wins it? Because I think you can say, for me, I feel like Argentina are going to get through this side, right? I feel like Croatia are having to dig deep. They've gone to 2 penalty shootouts. How much more have they got in their legs? Right? And we saw that a moment of brilliance from Neymar was able to unlock them. What would a moment of brilliance from Messi do to them? Right? So I think we can look at it and like say, well, I don't know that Croatia can keep doing this. I don't know that they can keep doing this. So I'm going to say that it's going to be Argentina that get through on this side. But who gets through out of England, France and Portugal? And, well, you can't rule out Morocco as well, but I feel like England, France, Portugal are probably the ones you would be looking at. And then out of all of them, who win the World Cup? Because I've been feeling pretty good about Brazil. And now they're going home. It's stunning. 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 Right, we are going to have to round it up there because, well, I mean, it's ended. So we need to go and get ready for our next stream. I have just pushed that next stream back about 10 minutes. Yeah, we'll be back in 10 minutes for the next game. I think we need to all go away, have a drink, have a think, right? Have a look at the reaction because this is massive. The number one story on the news is Brazil being out. A major upset, another major upset at this World Cup. The number one story on our news right now, because it's just gone to the news, Brazil being out. My God. Right, I'll see you in 10 minutes and we'll do the next stream. Bye for now.